your soul and everything to it, and you will learn from it, or you learn about it rather. Okay. Um, so another thing again we also noticed was that these teachers, although they had good teaching experience, classroom experience, but then they didn't know how to position themselves for the right opportunities. I'm talking about their portfolios. So they didn't know how to package all of these skills, all of these experiences into a perfect and a standard portfolio so that they can position themselves for global opportunities. That was something lacking as well. They just knew about the four walls of the classroom. So we also had to fill that gap for them. And so my topic or my discussion today, whatever it is going to be basically about how you can move from the four walls. I'm not saying that you should leave the classroom, but I'm saying that how you can also position yourself as a global educator, because it's very, very important, because you can also teach in your classrooms at the same time. Maybe in the evening or at night, you can teach from the comfort of your home to people in different countries. It's possible. So while you're earning, while you're earning here in Abuja in your physical classroom, your physical schools, you're also earning online. People do that a lot, a whole lot. All right. So I want to ask a question here. How many of us here are online tutors? Let me, at least I know, because she's my community. Any other person online tutor? Okay, you are. Okay, that's okay. Yeah, I know. Any other person? Okay, you are. Okay. Oh, we have some people here. That's fine. Now, your clients, are they foreigners or are they Nigerians in diaspora? Which one? Both. Nigerians in diaspora. Okay. What about you? Okay, the both, right? Nigerians in diaspora. Okay, that's fine. I like that. It's good. It's good. It's good. Okay, so for other people, please, I want you people to get on board. At least before the end or by the end of this, we should start thinking of something. Um, yeah. And then for those of you that are classroom teachers, right? How many of you can use some of these digital tools? Because I think there's some schools here in Abuja. I mean, I don't know many schools in Abuja, but I think there's some schools here in Abuja that, oh, look at me. Thank you. I think there's some schools here in Abuja where they try to use, I don't know, but if I'm wrong, please correct me. In Nigeria and in Abuja, where they try to use digital tools now, right? In schools. They started doing it, right? Oh, that's good. That's very good. Okay, because me, I did not have any classroom teaching experience, so it just condition that pushed me into this, and I've been doing well by God's grace. So I don't know about that, but that's a very good one. Okay, so let's talk about how the classroom has changed. Now, before I came here this morning on our group, we're talking about how recruiters have started using AI to evaluate people. I don't know if you're on that group. I don't know if you saw that conversation. We talked about how recruiters have started using AI to evaluate people. So basically, the classroom has changed. So if the classroom has changed, it means that we as educators too should also evolve, because we cannot still be thinking like 2016 when we're already in 2026. And there is more to come in 2027 and even beyond. So we also need to, follow suit as well. Now, for example, some years back, we dress up, not we, but you dress up, you go to school, you have your qualifications from whatever university you got it from, and then after school, you now decided that, okay, I want to be an educator. And then you found a school. After that, you started teaching students. At the end of the month, you're being paid salary. But now things are different. Like technology has gotten into play. The technology has kind of disrupted everything, and I'll say for good, but I think that can be arguable as well. All right. These are some things that I want to talk about. I do not want to spend too much time here because I think my time is counting. So I'm trying to get to the most important ones. Now, what actually makes you a global educator? How can you become a global educator? And I'm going to be talking about this from my own niche. That's what I'm going to do. I'm a global educator because I do ESL. ESL is English as a second language, right? So what we do here is that we teach people in different countries. foreigners basically with different skin colors, like Chinese people, Vietnamese people, Taiwanese people, Mexicans, and so on. So that's ESL. Now, if you want to do something like that, you would need to position yourself rightly. And how do you do that? Number one, you need to be very, very adaptable. Don't carry that same mentality of classroom teaching and everything into this, because we're working with different cultural backgrounds now. They don't have the same cultural background as Nigerians. So you need to be adaptable to theirs, even if it's going to be online, but you just have to be adaptable to theirs. The way I teach my Mexican students, because I currently have some Mexican students, I currently have some Peruvian students and some Chinese students. But the way I teach my Chinese students and my Mexican students are totally different, because I try to understand their culture and then I try to adapt to it, even from the comfort of my home. So this is something that you should do as a teacher. I remember that when I had my interview, they asked me questions about the qualities of a good teacher, and I said a good teacher must be flexible, a good teacher must be adaptable, things like that, which is very true. But in PG, they say no before mouth. You go first do them, you go do them. So you need to be adaptable and also very, very flexible. That's something that I would say. Okay, another point is this: you need to know how to use technology. This is it, where education, technology, and purpose meet, right? And we cannot leave one and talk about, we have to talk about the three of them together. You need to also know how to use technology. And I'm talking about, for my own niche, I'm talking about tools like Classin. CLASSIN, Classin. Oh, that tool is quite complex, but with practice, you learn to use it. But if you want to go into the ESL industry, you must, like, it is a must. Oh, you must use that tool. You must learn to use that tool. So that tool is very important. And the tool, recently I saw on their updates that they've started incorporating AI to the tool as well. So you must learn to use the tool. You must learn to use tools like Voov. I don't know if you've heard about Voov here. Has anyone heard about Voov? VOOV. Okay, except her. You must learn to use Voov. Voov is also known as Tencent Meeting. It looks like Zoom. In fact, the qualities and everything are just like Zoom. But you also learn to use Voov as well. You will also learn to use Classroom, like I mentioned. You learn to use Google Meets, the slides, Google Slides very well. The one teacher that said that she uses it in her class. You learn to use that as well. You also learn to use Kahoot. Mhm. You learn to use Word Wall. You learn to create games, especially if you want to teach young learners. Very, very important. You learn to create games. You learn to use Genially. These are some tools that you should learn to use. Now, for example, where the oil money is teaching students that are in the Middle East, right? But then these people, I don't know how they think. They're way, way ahead of us somehow. Oh, they're so ahead. But then one thing with them is that in their interview, they'll ask you about these tools. And if you claim that you can use it, you show it to them. So you need to learn, and they pay very well too. But you need to learn to use these tools as well. Like practice well. And then there's some certifications that you need to get as well. Number one, you need to get what we call the TEFL. It's called Teaching English as a Foreign Language. Now, when you want to teach in a normal classroom, right, the physical classroom, they would ask for your maybe degrees, your certificates. So it's the same thing here. When you want to teach in the ESL industry, you must have a TEFL certificate, or you must have a CELTA, or you must have an IELTS, IELTS, or you must have a TSOL. TSOL means teaching English to speakers of other languages. Then TEYL, am I too fast? I feel like I'm too fast. Am I too fast? A bit. Mabinu, sorry. Sorry, Ma. Okay, so where did you stop? TEYL. Okay, TEYL means teaching English to young learners, so small children. Hey. So you need to get that certificate as well. Now, I'm not saying you should gather everything all together. Any of these ones that I've mentioned, you can get one of them. Any of them. But then if you want to teach adults, you must get an IELTS. That is IELTS. You must get it, because if you also want to teach adult business English, or you want to teach travel English, or you want to teach conversational English, things like that, you must get that IELTS certificate. It's very, and then you also can get maybe TFL. And then there are platforms where you can get it, right? Number one platform where you can get it. Let me do the hard work for you. Where you can get these things, you can get your TEFL from a platform we call Teacher Record. However, there is a dice there because some recruiters are beginning to reject that one, while some recruiters are accepting it. But you can also get it from a platform called World Tessel. There's another platform you can get it. Now, yes, World Tessel. Now, apart from that, you would also need to prepare your portfolio. Now, you teach, you have your student that you teach, right? You know how to prepare your lesson materials, all of those things. Very, very good. We like it. And for those people that have your mixed students, right? What you can do is to build your portfolio very well so that you can position yourself for better opportunities because every single day, as we breathe, these people are looking for teachers. Are they lie? Every single day. Every single day. This morning, I even had to. I saved some of the what is it called, job openings that I found on LinkedIn, and I said I was going to share with my community after today. So every single day, you would see recruiters looking for teachers that can actually teach these subjects, maybe English or even maths, to these foreigners. But if you're going to be teaching maths, you might be as smart as because I know Sabi maths. But I'm trying. I'm trying. I know English, so at least. Okay. So yeah. Building your portfolio. Then what makes this portfolio that you have? Number one is what we call an introduction video. The introduction video is what you should have as a teacher. It's like a very short video that describes what you do and who you are and what you can offer as a teacher. I mean, we are all teachers here, so that shouldn't be difficult. Yeah. And then number two, what you should have is a standard CV. I'm going to stay here for a bit. Now, I want you guys, when you want to apply to school, and the thing is that many of you don't even know this. What I do is that I try to study maybe 20 or 30 schools that have the same pattern of job descriptions. Hiring, we're looking for these job requirements. And then I study very well. And then I carry what is in their job requirements or job description and I paste it inside my CV. Because you know why? Companies right now started using AI. So at the point they don't even get to open your portfolio that much again. They just have to push it to AI. And then if AI sees that those things in the job description are not in your CV, they flag it off. Even if you're very good, it's flagged out. Because I mean, there's so many applicants, plenty. So they don't have that time. So what they do now is that they push it to the AI. Sorry, yes, the AI, that is ATS, and then it scans it, it removes and it filters all of the CVs, all of the portfolios that do not have those key requirements that they're looking for in the job description. So what you should do is to study the job description very, very well and then list those keywords and put them inside your CV and then you submit. That's it. So that's how you can create one. And then after that, you also need to learn how to use these tools that I mentioned. You can start with maybe 4 of them. And the ones that I say you should start with are Classing, Zoom, Google Meet, Voov. You can start with this one and later you can go on to Microsoft Teams. And then you still need to learn how to use all these tools that we use to create games. So I think this is it for my own niche, how to get started. And then if I know you might be asking questions like, oh, I'm a classroom teacher. How can I do this? How can I juggle this? What I can suggest is this, right? First of all, after this meeting, take your time to study. Take your time to do research. YouTube, they say, if you watch YouTube videos, for me, I don't know what works for you, but try and find out what works for you. For me, YouTube videos worked very well for me. I took my time, and I still say it today. I took my time to watch over 120 videos on YouTube on how to actually be a force in this industry, and it worked for me. So it depends on you what can work for you, but I would say do your research very well. The market, there is a market for it. There are opportunities for this. That is just the truth. But the point is, or the question here is, are you actually prepared for this opportunity? Can you actually do the job when you are given the job to do? So that's the question here. Okay. So let me see. Like I said, I was going to ask some questions. Am I too fast? Let me know. Do I need to slow down a bit? Excuse me. Okay. So we're all teachers, right? Apart from teaching, like apart from doing your classroom things and everything, how else do you hmm, how will I put it now so that I don't see myself on Insta blog tomorrow. They'll say, please God, oh, how do I how do I put this question now? I'm trying to be very careful with my words. Um okay. Do we have different multiple ways of using our skills? Do we have different ways that we use our skills apart from, you know, doing the classroom thing? Do we have other ways that we utilize our skills? Anybody? Okay, let me calm down. I don't like to do this, but I think I have to. But please, don't aim me. I'm just a girl. So when I come to you, please answer me. Okay, let me start with her first because she's an ESL person, so she might have some answers. The question. Okay, so do we have or do you have other ways where you can utilize your different skills apart from just teaching online?
Yes. Aside teaching online, you can still use your skills to educate those that are blindfolded to the skills, like to the field that, like you now, you are the founder because you have the insight, you have the knowledge of what people are looking for. So you can still use your skill to put out the knowledge you have outside the classroom wars, teaching online and going for home lessons. So you can still put forth your knowledge, use it to make money.
Okay, I think I understand you. Thank you very, very much. So basically, it means train other educators. That's one. Another one again. Can I stay here? I can stay here, right? Okay. Another one again. I would like to talk about is you can, as an educator with many years of experiences, you can be an instructional designer. Thank you, ma. An instructional designer. You can be a curriculum designer. You know all of these things because that's what you do in the classroom. So it's not going to be hard for you. But for people that are not in the education industry, yes, it go hard. But for you, it's going to be very smooth, like a smooth sail for you. So while you teach your students in the classroom, at home you can be doing all of these things and be getting something out of it. So you're packaging these skills and you're also getting something out of it. So positioning yourself as also a global educator. Instructional design, like I mentioned, curriculum design, e-learning development. Very, very, very good. Very good, oh, very good. We should actually do some research about it, and you discover that there are some Nigerians here that are doing it and they can testify. That's all I can say. And then another one again is someone talks about creating coloring material. I don't know if you're the one, ma. Creating coloring materials. Good. Do you know you can actually sell it on TPT? So TPT means teacher pay teacher. So you can also sell it on Gumroad. You know, these things are very, so you create all of these things using Canva. So you should know how to use Canva. I mean, there are other platforms where you can create these things, but you can create using Canva and then you package it very well, coloring materials, worksheets, whatever it is, and then you push it on these platforms and you sell your skills. That's another way to make money out of it. So, but basically, like I said, the foundation is learning how to use these tools well before you can now make something out of it. Okay? Do we have any questions before I climb up? No questions. Okay. Thank God. That means everybody understands me. Okay, 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 okay. I'll soon be out of here in just a moment. Excuse me. All right. So, closing, this is what I urge everyone to do, right? I urge everyone to go home today, think about these things. Like I said earlier, there are many opportunities for all of us as educators, real opportunities. It's just for us to know how and where these opportunities are. But what I can say is like once you position yourself very well, it wouldn't be much of a hassle for you. So go home. Oh, I forgot to say something. Another thing again, I think you people should do as teachers is to put yourselves in international communities. When I was working with a Vietnamese company at the time, when I was about to I found a Nigerian in a Facebook community, Facebook that we all ignore. Hmm. Facebook Vietnamese teachers community. I was just there hustling for job, and then I saw the name, Igbo name. I was like, this person's Nigerian, no. I entered her DM. Hi, I'm a Nigerian. I'm Igbo. I see you're here. Can we connect? And all of that. That was how we became online friends. So put and I started asking her questions about Vietnamese companies and all of that. And she started sharing her own insights. So put yourself in these kind of communities. I mean, there are LinkedIn communities as well for teachers. There are also Facebook communities as well. I'm in a lot of them for Facebook communities. So, but use your keywords. What's keywords like English teachers or maybe mathematics teachers or science teachers in China or science teachers in Cambodia. Those keywords stand out, and then you join the community so you can also interact with other people and learn from them. All right. So thank you very much, everybody. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Ma'am Praise, have you shared everything? Like everything. Thank you so much. Please let's clap for her once again. The clap, please. Yes, thank you. Because I took a few notes while she was speaking, and I believe a lot of us also took notes. So we'll just take a few questions. Thank you. Okay. Is there anyone else? There has to be one. Okay, that's two. Any other person? I have two persons. Any other person? Okay. Lagos, please, if you have your questions, just indicate and then we'll hand over.
All right, good morning, everyone. My name is Rita Columbus Otokwa, and I'm assistant educator. I just came into the teaching profession out of hunger, and I was tired of staying at home. So, luckily, the guy or the CEO I met was passionate enough to let me come into the school. And from there, I've been trying to check different areas of which I can learn more because I actually now started liking what I was seeing. But like I say, fortunately, unfortunately, the federal government gave a decree or a law, something like that, that all teachers must be registered under TRCN and all of that. Then we have to go through PGD for us who didn't do education. So I'm on that right now. But for us who are coming into the teaching industry, especially the online, because we know that is like a dangerous thing coming for teachers, whether we like it or not. How do we equip ourselves with the right information? Like you've given us some information and you've been saying things about community and all of that. If you go to Facebook or Instagram, their algorithm takes, if you're focused on the teaching part, their algorithm now start putting you in all those things. And there are so many and you start getting confused of which one to actually follow. So I really like to know like a platform of which we can actually join or community or society or things like that to really get this information and put ourselves out there. Like somebody like me, I know nothing about teaching. It was just during the job and maybe this PGD program I'm doing and I'm seeing a lot of things that we do take for granted. And I'm like, okay, so this is what this thing means. This is what this thing means. So I really want to know the communities we can join that can actually help us improve. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you very much. So let me start by saying, first of all, you need to know online tutoring is broad. So know the one that you want to do. I started by asking questions. How many of us teach people or Nigerians in diaspora? That's one of it. And then there are also people that do ESL as well. So it's broad. So what do you want to do? So you have to focus on try and know what you want to do first, the area that you want to focus on first. And then once you have gotten that ready, that's how you now know the community to join. Personally, I do not know any Nigerian community. And the reason is because, but I'm very sure that many people here would know, but I do not know. But the reason is because I am not focused. Even when some people told me that, oh, I can teach, I said, I know, I don't want to teach any Nigerian outside. I want to focus on colored skin because I feel like they pay me more. Do you understand? So you know the niche that you want to focus on, and then with that niche, you now find the communities. But where I know that I found my own communities and where I also encourage them to find the communities as well is on Facebook, Facebook. Use the words and then find these communities and you join. There are some private ones and then there's some public ones. And then LinkedIn is another one again. I find my own communities on LinkedIn as well. There are lots of them. I'm on those platforms as well. So these are, but I don't know if there are Nigerian communities for that. I do not know, but these are the ones that I know. And I'm very okay. There's teacher transition. I mean, but there are more of white people, blacks there as well. You can also search for teacher transition. That one too. Yes. Oh, yes, please, ma'am. Thank you.
Good good morning. My name is Oluwatobi Dele, and what you said, maybe I should rephrase it. As educators, sorry, let me stand up. As educators lately, you have to build a brand. You are the face of that brand, and you have to show up. Nobody figured it out at once. Where do I want to start from is a confusing question. Do you know your strength? What's your weakness? Do you understand? If you are focusing on let them tell me what to do, then you're not ready. You're not. You're ready when you've tried 5 things and you see that you're great in one or two. Then you narrow it down. After narrowing it down, I tell you, when you start creating that brand awareness for yourself, today talk about early years, tomorrow talk about primary school, next tomorrow talk about behavioral, next 4 days talk about anything. Then after a month, look at all your videos and pretend you don't know you and tell yourself which is the best among all these things I've created so far. Then narrow it down to your strength and ask yourself, can I really do this? Then you start transitioning to that path. Then that community you are looking for will then find you. Your algorithm will start moving around that thing. Your algorithm will start showing you, for example, let me say you start talking about more of early years, sounds, phonics, diction, this and that. You see, the internet is going to inspire you to grow more because it start bringing these things to your way. Educator creators that does these things, they start coming your way. And then you start picking ideas from their pages and you start growing yourself. The only community I know that can tell you, oh, she has the experience of what it is or what it feels like to be in the classroom. There's a lady called Oluko, the global teacher. Try to join our platform. If not for anything, for the ginger and the vibe. Do you understand? So I think that will help. Thank you very much.
Um, please just say.
Okay, good morning, everyone. Good morning, ma. Thank you very much, ma. Okay, I'm kind of strange. As a justice, I'm a medical doctor by profession, but I'm that kind of person that's entered into online teaching, and I just entered into it, and it's like 2 months ago that I've been teaching. So I was when I was in medical school, I used to teach, go to do home tutorials. So one of the parents traveled abroad and said I should continue. And she now shared my number. That's why I now start getting clients in UK and US. Like she just shared my number. That this guy is good. I got to work. But I don't really know some things. Like entered into it. I started learning. That's why I started learning how so that they will not find out that I'm not really an online tutor there. So I started learning. I start Instagram messaging people, and I noticed something. There's a risk. My question is thank you, Miss Praise. There's a job somebody wants to offer me because I teach basically chemistry, biology, and people that is trying to enter into medical school. And currently, one of my students is a nurse trying to write a medical exam. So because I'm good in anatomy, so I'm teaching her. But at a point, somebody referred me to somebody that is not English language. So I was like, is there any app that I can be talking and it will be translating? Like, so I lost the job. I was like, I did not figure it out very well because I don't know what I just like. It's a kind of premature announcement, so I don't know what to do. That one when and that's my question. Is there any language barriers? Like because I know I found you on LinkedIn and I know that you do with language. So I want to know if there's any language something that can help me. That's one. My question number two is people started asking me question because I came into Instagram. I made a post of what I do. I'm a doctor. People like, how do you do it? So some questions they ask me, I don't have the answer. So like, how do you got like me now? I have students, I have two people that I've not gotten a straight link from somebody messaging me online and telling me to teach. So how will I get a new client? How will I encourage somebody that doesn't have this my kind of opportunity that if you come, you can actually post yourself and you get a client. That is so the third question is okay, let me leave maybe next time because of the time. Yeah.
Can we just take from Lagos so that you can answer together? We have a question from Lagos. Yes.
Question. So, what's the question? Okay, she said the question is the same question that has been asked right there in Abuja.
Okay, thank
Okay,
you.
just hold on. Hold on, we have another question.
Okay.
Good afternoon. My name is Olaliko Emmanuel. I'm a student. So my question is, we're talking about TFL and TUL. Does it have to be English? Why can't it like other language? Does it have to be English to have that certificate?
Yes, I did. Yes, I did. Okay, so let me start with you. I remember one question. The first one, I don't think I remembered it. I'm sorry. Um, what I can say is you cannot give what you do not have. So that's what I can say. So you lost the opportunity because you were not ready. So you need to build first because you can't give what you don't have. So number one thing you should do is to go back to your drawing board and build yourself very well. Learn. I'm s- I'm sorry to say, but some Nigerians these days we don't take our time to learn. So you need to learn first, build first, and then once you have gotten to that level, you can now dish out what you have learned. Like I said, the opportunities there are broad, right? And then you talked about your medical studies and all of that, right? So you're asking, okay, your question was how can you um communicate with people that do not understand English, right? That's it. There are many translation apps, many of them that you can use. I mean, there's even, I don't know, there's Google Translate. That one is popular. I used it yesterday for my classes. I had a student that couldn't understand how are you, come, go. So I had to use the Google Translate for her, Elsa. So there's Google Translate. There's what we call Baidu, or I don't know how they pronounce Baidu or Baidu. I don't know how they pronounce it, but there is that one as well. So you can also check it out. Then there are other AI tools that you can use to translate or convert your PDF, to English, or translate your PDF to English rather. So there's that one. But then do not rush into it. Build first. You get, know within you that you have gotten to that point that if they should meet you for this, you can actually dish out everything, without, and at that point you can actually name your price because you know the what it took you to build, and to learn and to study. There are many platforms to do that. I mentioned YouTube before, that you can build on YouTube, you can learn on YouTube rather. There are other platforms where you can learn on. And she also talked about social media as well, building a brand on social media. There's one of, I don't want to call her name, but there's one of them that I knew that she started without any, nobody helped her. She was just building like what she said on social media, on Instagram. Now these people are gravitating towards her, like play. And now she has started teaching them. So you can also try that as well. But for the translation apps, you can use Google Translate, you can use Baidu. That works. Now, for the person in Lagos that asked about what about other subjects? Yes, you can teach other subjects, not just English, and you do not need TFL for that. I don't know if I should face here or face here. Oh, anyway, I'm turning around. Okay, you can teach other subjects, right? But you do not need TFL. You don't need TY. You don't need any of those things. You can teach maths. You can teach science. Even today, I wish I could show it. One of them got a job to teach maths and science and geography to Chinese people. So yeah, you don't need those certificates. But if you want to do English, people like us, we know to sabi book like this. Now English, where would they do? But anyways, people like us that want to focus on English language, right? We have to get the certificates. But people like you don't need it. You don't need it at all. It's not important. I hope I've answered.
Yes. Thank you so much. Please, a warm round of applause. Please let the applause be warm. She has really given us so many gems already. And yes, there will be some learning, some information that will be shared after the conference. So if you have not registered, please, the information desk, the registration desk is just by my right hand side at the back. Please go there. And also, if you want a certificate from this conference, please go there. You'll be told how you get it after paying a token to get one. So up next, I would like to introduce someone who has spent over a decade also thinking about one very important question. And the question is that how do we create learning experiences that actually work for the learner? Oluwatobi Oyedele is the founder and lead of creative of Rare and the lead creative of Rare Tutors Limited, which is an education, and she's an educational consultant and a learning strategist with over 13 years of experience in education. Our work spans school transformation, teacher development, curriculum support, academic coaching, and the purposeful use of technology in education. She believes that every child deserves an education that is engaging, relevant, and designed to unlock their potential. And that's the perspective she's going to bring here this afternoon. So, ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Oluwatobi Oyedele to the learning table. Welcome.
Thank you very much. Good morning. Please still clap for me now. What's that? We will be playful and we have to talk. So, as a teacher, we have to do so much communication. I'm not doing one size fits all teaching today. I want us to communicate. I want us to do critical thinking based learning. So that's what we're going to do today. So, like they said, my name is Oluwatobi Edele, and I am the lead creative of Reuters Limited. I'm happy to be here today. I came from Lagos, Nigeria. Yes. And I will use myself as an example based on that question I answered earlier, saying building your brand. I can just stay in Lagos. They're in Lagos today. But no, I wanted more. I wanted to come out here. They called, they said, there's a place in Lagos. I said, I know. That's where I attended last year. But I don't want to be there today. I'm building a portfolio for myself. And that portfolio, nobody can hand it to me. I will take it myself. I'll build that portfolio. And that's what I'm doing today. So sometimes everything is not about money. I am more of a spontaneous teacher. I do not like so much preparation because I feel there's a whole lot to talk about when it comes to the education industry and educators itself. So she has spoken about the tutoring thing, and I don't even want to go back there. But today, I want to talk to you as educators, as school leaders, as teachers. I want to talk to you on how to evolve. Everybody say evolve. Please don't kill my energy. Oh. Everybody say evolve. Unless you dance, yeah, I'll turn you to early childhood people now. Everybody say evolve. And how do we spell evolve? I'm not hearing voices. See, if I have a 5-year-old learner here today, I'm going to hear beautiful voices. Are you guys that old? Everybody, how do we spell evolve? Okay. And what does evolve means to you as a person? What does it mean? Evolve. Please, let's make it conversational. Thank you. What do you say?
Transform.
Say what?
Transform over time.
Transformation,
Over time. Changing over time.
changing over time,
Growth.
growth. I love that. I love that. So today we are going to be growing. We are going to evolve. We are going to go from a traditional educator to a global educator today. Everybody say global educator. I am a global educator. I don't know about you. Are you a global educator? So today we'll be moving from the traditional classroom. We'll be moving to the global classroom. Now, a lot of people go into the classroom and they don't even know who their learners are. You go into the classroom, you do the one size fits all thing. It doesn't work anymore because life is more engaging right now and we have different type of learners. Can you tell me the types of learners you know? You know, we have different children. We have different strengths. They have different weaknesses, right? So, can you tell me one type of learner you know? We have different types of learners.
We have fast learners.
We have fast learners. Okay. Visual learners.
Quick learners.
Learners.
Audio video.
Audio visual. There's one more I'm looking for. Auditory learners. And would you agree that in a classroom we have all these learners in one classroom? For me, I'm more of a play-based person. Of course, of course, of course. This ones, places they pick their brain from is so different because they are neurodiverse. Doesn't mean that I've met great neuro. Their IQ is on a different level. The way they learn is is like magic. If you don't get the concept, you're out of the game. Now, for me, I'm more of a play-based person. I like when you're explaining, can you jump up? I like it. Do you understand? So we have these learners in your classroom. And as a teacher, you just come in, hello people. Now, this is both for online and physical classroom. Because let me tell you something. Every teacher can't be an online teacher, whether you like it or not. Every teacher doesn't have the online teaching charisma. But you can swing being in classroom physically and you don't know what you're doing. But you see online, if you don't know what you're doing, you're out of the game. So sometimes my son has asked me, you are not seeing them. Why are you clapping and jumping and dancing? I said, Daddy, it's called engagement. I'm engaging that child so that the child wouldn't disconnect from me. Now let's go back to those learners. Even in online teaching, we have this set of learners. In your physical classroom, we have the same type of learners. So you're coming into the class, you want to teach, say now, let's practicalize something. How do we do that? Okay, you've come into the classroom. Today's topic from English language is now. And then I have an auditory learner, I have an audiovisual learner, I have a kinesthetic learner, and I have a neurodiverse learner. Now, and I have this learner. I would not say the name, the real name, but this learner that this child is not looking at me. This child is not concentrating, but the child is learning. This one, they are another thing. They are doing something else entirely. But I don't know how they try to divide their brain and they're getting what you're saying. But you, as a teacher, you feel they are not there. So let's play something out real quick. Hello, everyone. Good morning. My name is Miss Toby. How are you today? Respond. I'm your teacher. Hello. How are you? Okay. So today, you know what we'll be doing. Um, what is this? What is this? Who is this? Are you sure? Who said that, Miss Toby? Okay. What is this? Okay. Why do we call them those names? You know naming words. You know naming words. Wow. Okay, tell me names of things that you know.
A place.
Okay, things that you know. Things. You know, I said things now.
A water bottle.
A fan.
No, you stop. Tell me the name of people you know.
Emeka.
Emeka.
Joseph.
Okay. Now you tell me, where are we going for summer?
We're going to the US.
The US. Wow. Are you going to take me? No, I just want to get into your box. Everybody, we are going to the United States of America. Are you ready? Now, it's not rocket science. I am picking the one that needs to respond to me, the one that needs to listen. And now I am presenting the topic. We've presented the topic from unknown to known. They don't know what I was coming to teach. Then I'm going to present today. We are going to be talking about now. Everybody say now. Now, give me a beat. 1, 2, 3. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. A noun is a naming word. Is a name. A noun is a naming word. A noun is a naming word. Now let's stand up. A noun is a naming word. A noun is a naming word. A noun is a naming word. We can also use it for exercise. A noun is a naming word. A noun is a naming word. Names of place. Names of place. Animals. 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 Names of a person. Names of a person. And a thing. Now, can you give me a name of a person?
Grace.
Stella.
Copy.
Good. Now we go to the animals. 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 Names of animals.
Lion. Cat.
Okay. Okay. Let's go to the names of things.
Book. Pet.
Okay, now we want to go to names of places.
Abuja.
Lagos.
Okay, now, everybody, thank you. Sit down. Now, who have we attended to? Everybody is involved. Now, even in a very local school, if you're working in a local school, let every child say, I want Miss so to teach me. Because of just one effect you have on them. Just one. I consult for schools. I don't work in schools full time anymore. But when I go into schools and I see something and I'm trying to correct it, and for me, I don't correct saying you have to do it like that. I'll show and tell. So maybe I didn't handle English and I said, you know what? Let me take this English class. Just watch me. And the next time the kids are, oh, Miss Tommy, when are you going to come and teach us? Ah, no. And I'm not teaching you. Why? And then I stepped into a school last year. No, this year, February. It was my son's school. I was confused about a lot of things going on in there. And I went to them. I said, please, can I come and help you? I know you can't afford the money I'll take, but I want to, because of my own child. There are so many things happening that I do not like. The old school nurse wife was like, why not, Mr. Become? And we started. In a week, I'll have parents come, please. They said there's one Mr. B in this school now. What kind of educator do you want to be? Are they going to remember you were in school today? Now we've attended to those learners. We also did the methodologies at which you will use. Okay? Now we've done play based, we've done dramatization just now. And the next thing I'm going to do, I'm going to write on the board. The ones that like to listen and read will read and they will also learn. So please, let's be a teacher that will touch lives and make our pupils happy. So let's go to the next thing on the agenda. Are you enjoying yourself? You guys want to dull me, but I caught you anyway. So, like we said, every learner is different. So, some learners they feed on prior knowledge. Some of them, the pace of their learning is not so fast. Sometimes I talk about readiness to especially early year mommies and daddies. I tell them, your child is going to be ready when your child is ready. Oh, my 3-year-old can write. Oh, my 4-year-old is not doing this. And we naturally know this child can do these things. But you know the child is not ready. Wait the child from now till tomorrow. When the child is ready, you think a magic happened. But no, no magic, no rocket science. It's just readiness. You have to also know as a teacher, okay, when I teach this child from this moment to this moment, I can in 10 minutes, Ade gets it. In 2 minutes, Bola gets it. In 1 minute, Shayo gets it. But in 15 minutes, Angela gets it. That is Angela's space. And as much as you cannot give everybody this, you cannot tend not to attend to everyone in your classroom. You have to still attend to them all. The language. You have to understand that every child language is different. The level of their English is different. If you're using a standard English, break it down. Let them understand that this is what you're talking about. Look at the child's confidence. There are some children, they can't even talk to you in the presence of their mates. So you don't have to say, that's it, you will not talk. If I catch any teacher in this day and say, you will not talk, you don't have anything in your head, we'll send you to Samsa first. Because it's not like that anymore. That child is a child you can just take during lunch to understand that this child is hello baby, how are you? So what I was teaching you this the other time, and guess what? It works for all through the years. It works till secondary school. I was teaching you something the other time. You felt distracted. Is everything okay at home? Okay. I understand though. I understand. Okay, tell me, what's this? What's this? You've tested the child's understanding. But the child is just so shy. He's not confident. She's not confident amongst mates. Do you understand what I'm saying? So you also need to understand their strength, their attention span. Some of us just say, oh, I've been teaching you since morning. You did not understand. No. I have a child. Once my online is 30 minutes, if I don't get it in 30 minutes, I've lost the day. The first 30 minutes is his best. After that 30 minutes, eh, it will start distracting you. Mr. B, do you know? I want to tell you something. My mom cooked. She made pizza yesterday. Should I come and show you? It's gone. So, for example, the day I was doing storytelling, that day I needed him to be like that. And the next time was like, hey, Mr. V, let's do our class the way we did it that day. No, it was for that day because I needed your strength for that day. So we have to also know that. So we have to make difference. Differentiation of learning is important. It doesn't mean you want to teach 50 people the same way. No, it just means creating multiple entry points into the same learning. Creating multiple entry. Some of you, your entry points, when you enter, my entry point was when I came in and I said, hi, blah, blah, blah. Then I started asking, where's the name of this? Where's the name of that? Why am I this? What is this? That's my entry behavior. Some of us, we did not go for college of education, but with these tools that we have right now, sit down and learn about pedagogy. You need to understand what pedagogy is. You need to understand the curriculum you are using. Some people would mix curriculum with framework, and they are different things entirely. So that's something else I'll talk about. So now I said the educators must evolve. We are going to move away from the fact that everybody does this one size fit it all to becoming a facilitator of learning. We have to start facilitating learning. We don't just have to do, oh, hello class, good morning, blah, 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 and you're gone. No, facilitate it, encourage it, bring out the best in the children. Not just staying home and being like, okay, I've done my, it's just 50,000 naira, they'll pay me and I'm done. Let me just go. No. You are going to go from one size fit it all to differentiated instruction. You can do grouping. You can team them up. You can make them compete amongst each other. Competition is good. It makes everybody be on their toes. Group A doesn't want Group B to win. Group B doesn't want Group C to win. Tax them in different ways. Give them research-based topic. Even as young as year 5 pupils, give them research-based. You'll be surprised. And how many more minutes? Okay. You'll be surprised at what they can actually do. These children now have a lot of internet access around them. Let them use it. Give them assignments that will make them approach learning differently, that will develop their critical thinking. The content you are teaching, develop it. Let it connect through critical thinking. Let it connect through problem solving. The way you set your question is a whole lot. Some of us just set on we test understanding. We don't test critical thinking. We don't test problem solving skill. We don't even know about the Bloom taxonomy. Please write that Bloom taxonomy down. When next you are setting your school exam, use the Bloom taxonomy and you'll be glad you did, because you test every area of the child's development when it comes to assessment. So we also have to engage our learners all the time, the best way we can. So what should we actually do? So now I talked about evolving. AI is something teachers are using differently, but I don't understand why. Teachers, AI should not replace you as educators. It shouldn't replace you. It should make your work better. It should work for you. That AI would not come down and understand the relationship between you and a child. You see a child, you understand the child. Whatever solution you are then looking for, you can go and prompt it. But without creating a teacher-student based relationship, you can't understand anything. And AI can do that. So AI can replace you, because the human touch there is not there. Whatever you don't understand about that child, then you can then prompt it. Oh, I have a learner in my class. She's this, she's that. If you've read, like she said, we don't like reading. We don't even like learning. I have a child in my class. You say all the stuff you're noticing, and this stuff will advise you. If I see a child with ADHD, I'm not a professional to do that. But there are ways I will advise the parent to check. I wouldn't say, oh, your child has ADHD or autism. But I'll just randomly ask question. Does your child tiptoe? Is he tiptoeing all the time? Why is he holding his hair? Does he scream? Does he beat his feet on the floor? Does he stomp his feet? And when these answers come, I said, please, can you take him to the pediatrician? Because I'm not qualified to tell you those things. From the pediatrician, they are going to tell them where to go. Do you understand? So can AI do that for us? No. So instead, use AI to organize your life. You want to do assessment, use AI to run your assessment. You want to organize file. You want to create, like she said, some of us, we have so many things we are creating, but we are not monetizing them. We have so many worksheets. Even me, myself, I don't just have the time yet. I make beautiful worksheets for my classes, and I'm like, oh, this is beautiful. This is good. Because it's the worksheet itself is the child can assess it by themselves. And when I teach my IGCSE pupils and I talk to them about behaviorals, and every week we do this behavioral thing. If we have Monday 3 times a week, 1 hour, the last 10 minutes would be us talking about behaviors. So I ask their parents, what's up? Is this child doing this? They give me update. From there, I would transfer it into a topic. a behavioral topic. And then the last 10 minutes of the class, we use it. Can AI do that for me? No, because I need to understand the child. I need to see the child. So, as from today, look at your world differently and ask yourself, what type of educator do I want to be? How do I want to evolve? Whose life do I want to touch? As an educator, yes, there was a time they say don't look at money, but money is the real deal right now. As much as you have so much eagerness to build the next generation, build you. Thank you very much.
Please let's give her another one round of applause. I know a lot of us have questions both here in Abuja and in Lagos, but we'll save the questions for later. We'll just have our convener speak to us shortly.
All right. Thank you so much. It's been quite amazing there. The doctor, medical doctor, what's your name again, please? Justice. Let me not get to the hospital and they tell me there is no doctor on duty because you are taking online classes. Oh. Please hear what I said there. I mean, teachers, why are they coming to come and drag our stuff with us again now? Somebody asked this Dr. Justice for us. Oh. Dr. Justice, manage your hospital, leave us. Oh. But let's jam our hands together. It's amazing. The opportunity out there is very much probably. We're going to have a very brief break. And while we're there, we have two of our speakers also walked in there. We had Coach Wale Adejugbe. Coach Wale is somewhere around there. Lead Connecticum. And of course, Coach Wale was also one of our speakers last year. Amazing, amazing, amazing. And of course, we have Dr. Oluwatobiloba Moody here. WIPO Country Director, World Intellectual Property. Like I said, last year we started a conversation on intellectual property. Just like Chimney was saying that there are a lot of resources that we create as educators that could actually be monetized, that should be protected. But then we don't think about those things as things that should be protected and things that can be monetized actually there. And thank you so much, Oluwatobiloba. Oluwatobiloba, let's jam hands together for her. I mentioned that. So she was in the room in Lagos last year. And like I told her there, I've seen her trajectory in the last 1 year. And we got into one conversation and I said, you know what? You need to be at this table also. You need to lend your voice to this. And for me, that is actually the heart of everything there. The goal is I want to see you next year. And I want to see that you've gone from here to here, that upward trajectory there. We're going to be having a short break. It's a networking break. And if you just go to the foyer there are a lot of books there that you could pick up also. There are personal development books. Now, let me tell you something. If you are going to run an online tutoring business, you can be a good online tutor and be poor in running an online tutoring business. I hope you know there are two different things. You can be very good at teaching and very bad at doing business. So as much as you are trying to learn about the art of teaching, it's also important to learn about the what? The business of teaching. And you're going to learn those businesses by being able to adapt different principles from different books about business. So I'm going to encourage you to pick up books there. It's just going to be for 10 minutes. We have a music interlude there. And I also love you to also walk up to people that you have not met here. Just say hello to them. Share ideas. Tell them what you are building, what you are working on. You could have somebody that you could collaborate together and build something amazing and something important together. So thank you so much. Let's take our networking break now. Lagos, how are we doing? All right. All right. Thank you so much. So let's have a little networking break and we'll be back after the networking break for the sessions with Coach Wale and also Dr. Moody.
Hi, please. The break is coming to an end, so please let's come back to our seats. Thank you, everybody. Lady in Brown, Dr. Justice. It's so good to know people by their first names. I'm enjoying this. So please let's come back to our seats so we can get on to the next thing on our agenda. I feel like we're enjoying this networking session a little too much, and I love it. Let me meet my friend. What's the name? What's the name? It's Titi. Nice to meet you. Alright. You've met someone new? Okay, what's her name? What's her name? Your networking is not complete without your name. What's their name? You met someone? Yes. What's her name? Uchechi, Miss Uchechi. Miss Uchechi. Yeah. Okay. Have you met someone new? Did you come together? No, you've not met someone new. Please, let's come back to our seats so we can get on to the next item. Unit? What's her? Who did you meet?
Mr. Tosin.
Mr.
Tosin.
Mr. Tosin. Did you meet her? Did you know her before? You see? Ma, he's like, want to scam me. Who did you meet new? I'm on your matter. Please, I'm waiting for us to return to our seats, please. I will know you first before you must know. It's not me. So yes, please stand up and meet somebody new now. Ma, please. Okay. Okay, who did you meet? Her name?
Kalu. Grace. Lady in green. Miss Kalu Grace.
Is that your name? Miss Carlo Chris. Yes. Okay. All right. Do you know her before? She said she know you before very well. Oh my. Are you just meeting today? Oh, what's her name?
What's your name?
I'm not with her my name.
Okay, please tell her your name.
Yes, my name is Blessing. My name is Jane.
Oh yeah, lovely. Thank you. Lagos people, are there any persons who have met? Do we want to speak? You can just introduce who you've met.
Yes, from Lagos.
Ah. Ooh. Oh. Please, let's clap for Lagos. Let's clap. Their room is highly anointed. Okay. Please, let's clap for them. Thank you so much. Okay, so moving on. I just want to remind us of something that this kind of conference will not happen just because somebody woke up one day and said, "Oh, I have a conference, I have an idea," and then they just made it happen. So these kinds of conference happen because people and organizations are willing to believe in the vision and also to contribute to the to making it happen. And so we'll be recognizing our partners, the people who have supported this vision in different ways, from providing this space we've gathered in to supporting the event experience and also to strengthening the solutions available to schools and educators. So at this point, we first want to appreciate our host partners, Bankies Private School. Please let's give them a round of applause. Thank you so much, Bankies Private School, for opening your doors and for providing this space for us. Also, we want to recognize Learnify, our convener and education innovation partner. Learnify is the force behind Reboot Ed and also continues to champion innovative approaches to learning through technology, online tutoring, and education solutions. Our next partner is BeamFag Events and Craft, our events and experience partner. From the setup like this to the details that make an event feel like an experience. Thank you so much for helping to bring the vision of Reboot Ed 2.0 to life. Please let's give a warm round of applause to BeamFag. And finally, we would also like to appreciate MovPeg Nigeria Limited, our education solutions partner. Through education support services, extracurricular program management, and other solutions for school, they are helping to strengthen school operations and enrich learning experiences. So, once again, let's give a warm round of applause to all our partners that made all of this possible. And without further ado, I'll be bringing up our next speaker. So this person, this very special person, is going to talk about the center. Is going to talk about the person who is at the center of everything we do, and that's the learner. So we've all encountered that child who learns, who seems distracted. Our previous speaker has asked us about the different types of learner, and I believe that we've met children who are distracted, who seem distracted, actually disruptive, withdrawn, or simply uninterested in learning. But what if we see bad behavior? What if what we see as bad behavior is sometimes a sign that something else is going on? So our next speaker has spent over 11 years helping schools, teachers, and parents to understand these challenges that children face and to create environments where children can actually thrive. He oversees teaching operations across more than 80 schools and also works as a child psychotherapist across mainstream and special needs school. He's an educational consultant, a child psychologist, and school transformation expert. And if you were at Reboot Ed 1.0 in 2025, you may remember him. And now he's back by popular demand. So, ladies and gentlemen, please put your hands together for Coach Wale Adejuide. A warm round of applause, a Reboot Ed applause.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Good afternoon, educators. Good afternoon, everyone. Okay. We're just coming back from the break, and I understand we are trying to settle down. Good afternoon, everybody. Okay, I want to hear your voice. I'm not hearing your voice. So let's take a song. If you're happy and you know, clap your hands. If you're happy and you know, clap your hands. If you're happy and you know, and you really want to show that you're happy and you know, clap your hands. If somebody is not clapping beside you, tell the person, what's Coach Wale's offense? Ask the person on my behalf now. Ask. Somebody did not clap. All right. That's just by the way. I want to start by first appreciating lenify.ng. Please, if your hands are not busy, I want you to please, for the second time, the first time was last year, and this is the second time. I'm sure we're going to have 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 edition. Come on, please jam those hands together very well. Please, I beg you, in the next 3 minutes, you are going to jam your hands together. I'm sorry. Also, I want to appreciate, so I've appreciated Lenify. Well, I want to appreciate the brains behind Lenify. I want to appreciate my brother. Yes, he's my brother. You know, I got into Abuja, and the first name that came to my mind is, I call him Flo, Pastor Flo. Sorry. I'm sorry. Okay. He is my brother. Please help me jam your hands together for him. Just help me do that. Thank you very much. Okay. Okay. Thank you. Also, I would like to appreciate somebody that deserve a bigger applause, and that is the wife of Pastor Flo. The wife of Pastor Flo is what? Mama Flo. Should I do it that way? When I saw her call this morning, I said, yes, there is fire on the mountain. You know, when you see some people's call, just know, when they call you like this, you know that something is. Thank you so much, ma'am. Please help me jam your hands together one more time for her. And then another big applause for all the speakers that have spoken before me and the speaker that is coming after me. Please help me jam your hands together for them. Amazing. I'm in a little bit of, will I want to call it? It's not confusion. I'm not confused. I have the mind of Christ. Please slide. Please give me the slide. Give me the slide. Okay, I want to speak to teachers. I'm meant to speak to learners, but I want to speak to teachers. I'll speak to teachers first, then I will connect it with learners. Is that okay? Everybody, is that okay? And the reason why I want to speak to teachers, online, offline, educators, people that are stakeholders in education, the reason why I want to speak to you is because everything you do has a cumulative effect on the learners. True of us. If you are a good teacher, you will raise good learners. Good teachers produce good what? Bad teachers produce is a lie. Bad teachers produce uninterested learners. How many people here love mathematics when you were young? I'm sorry for that question. Let me rephrase it. How many people here hated mathematics when you were young? I know the hands will be more now. Some people are looking. Don't worry, you're a mathematics teacher now. It doesn't matter. When you were students, you didn't like it. If I ask all of you that hated mathematics, if I ask you, why did you hate mathematics? Do you notice that you will tell me one person who is always what? Is it your dad or mom? It is always the teacher. We didn't like the subject because we didn't like the teacher. And the reason why we didn't like the teacher is because the teacher is it's not a bad teacher. The teacher is not interesting. And every time a teacher is not interesting, the children will not be interested. Either you are teaching online or you are teaching offline. And once the children are not interested, three things begin to happen. Number one is that they will want to excuse your class. That excusing your class means a lot. It can come in form of manipulation. Auntie, I want to go and wee. You wee like 3 minutes ago. No, auntie, it's a lie. It's poo-poo. And everything they want to do is to do what? They want to step out of your class. Well, you are not like me. When I was in secondary school, we didn't have windows. So when some teachers are coming in, like my economics teacher, like my, of course, maths teacher and physics teacher, when those teachers are coming, we don't look at them, we look at the window. Because we are only waiting for them to turn to the board so that, we just be jumping out of the window, one by one. There's no need for permission. Oh, yes. And why? I noticed that my biology teacher, we don't look at the window, we look at the man. Number one, his appearance is very okay. Wait, I'm saying all this so that they can bring up my slide. The appearance was what? Don't worry, if there's no slide, don't worry. I'm sorry, I'm already going. The man, first time in my life that I will see a teacher. Teacher. You know teachers by the quality of their materials. No, is anybody with me? When you see a teacher wear coat, and then the person wants to introduce himself to you, that person does not need introduction. Like, okay, sir, what do you do? I'm a teacher. I say, I know. Say, how did you know? Sir, you're dressing. But my biology teacher was not like that. Apart from that, my biology teacher's articulation is top notch. When the man is speaking, you see boys. I'm not saying girls now. Boys will be looking at his mouth. English teacher just left us. Biology, who is supposed to speak English better? Is it not the English teacher? But our biology teacher is something else. Little wonder when a man came to talk to us about career. I'm talking about when I was in SS2. He came to speak to us about career. You people, your future, your this one. He got to a point, he started asking us, one after the other, what do you want to study in university? Somebody stood up, I said medicine. What next one? Medicine. Next person, medicine. The man stopped when he asked a commercial class student, what do you want to study? It will say medicine. Then we knew. And why did we wanted medicine? We needed to study medicine because we thought biology means medicine. Physics means engineering. In fact, my physics teacher is my further maths teacher. Sorry, is their further maths teacher. God forbid. The man is teaching physics, I didn't understand. How will he now teach hard maths and you will understand? Ordinary physics, the man will just come to class. Viscosity, everybody, viscosity. Please, I want to come down. I need to show this thing. This is class. The man just break us. He leaves the people at the back as if they didn't pay school fees. He just faced the people in the front. You say viscosity. What are you talking about viscosity? He says surface tension. What is surface tension? Somebody in the back says, sir, we can't hear you. He's not bothered. He will just face those people. After he leaves, then all of us come to the front and say, please come out. They said, we didn't hear what he's saying. The people in front did not hear. How do you expect me at the back to hear? So one day he was coming, we made up our mind from the middle to the back. We pretended as if we are sleeping. We want to see what he's going to do. You know what the man said? He just looked at the people and said, all of you that you are alive. I said, so as we are like this, we are not. That's the problem. I did everything not to be admitted to university when I got to know that I was going to study physics as one of the courses. Because I said, the Egypt you see before. Because God knows. It was God that gave me C6 in physics. God knew I'm going to be speaking like this. And I'm going to be talking to teachers. Because I didn't know what will have happened. The economics, I had F9. There are the two terrible teachers that I have in my life. My economics teacher, my physics teacher. I don't used to talk about my economics teachers. But physics teacher, his name is Mr. Yusuf. I know the way I will talk about him, one day I will see him. I know he's not dead. I will see him. And I will say, sir. Why? Because another lecturer in university, in 100 level on OAU campus, changed my mentality and interest in physics by being a better teacher. Who is supposed to teach better, lecturer or teacher? Do you see? So, teachers, if only you know the power that is in your hands. You have different kinds of learners. But can I tell you the truth? The way you have different kinds of learners is not as important as the different kind of teachers that we have. Because if you are a good teacher, you are going to blend it with AI and everything that is happening now. You will blend it with the different kinds of learners. When I go into a class now, I don't want to say I don't care about the kind of learner you are. But as I am fully prepared to be multidimensional. When I'm speaking to visual learners, I'm there. I will say story, put it in pictures, put everything. When I'm talking to auditory learner, you will hear me. Please, Yes, now we are teacher. There is an engine inside a teacher. That engine cannot be replaced, cannot be repaired, it cannot be taken out. Once a teacher, always a what? Some teachers left and they went into another profession. When they got into that profession, only for them, became front desk. And I used to see them in Lagos. I said, you're a teacher before. Became a front desk staff to greet guests. Good morning, man. And then everybody say, what's wrong with you? Oh, I'm sorry. I forgot that I was a teacher. I'm now a front desk. You know why? When teacher comes into the class and children does not greet, what will the teacher do? The teacher will want to greet you, but the teacher want to do it with anger. Am I right? Hey, all of you. Did you see me? That engine come alive. And that is what we are. True of us. No, don't tell somebody beside you, don't run away from who you are. Tell that person. So, are we ready? Not yet. So let me go on. Thank you. My slide. Finally. As a teacher, please, I want to say this. If you are going to raise good learners for the future, in fact, I want one or two persons to answer this question that I want to ask. Why do we have school? Why does school exist? School. Yes. Anybody, please. Ma'am? For what? Socialization. Yes, ma'am. Awareness of recent information. Beautiful. From this angle, for learning. You are all correct. Ma, self-discovery. I like that. Beautiful. I'm looking for one. Everybody, you are correct. Learning is correct. Discovery, correct. Socialization, correct. Yes, ma'am. To prepare children for future. But I want it to be specific. Acquire knowledge. For certificates. You are also correct, sir. You are correct. But that answer. Yes, ma'am. For molding a complete human. You are correct, but in the future. Thank you. I like all of you. Thank you very much. I have a very intelligent yes, ma'am. For raising global leaders. Yes. So that's why I'm asking this. The one word I'm looking for is for solution providers. One day I was speaking in a school and I told them, I said, do you know why you came to school? And one sound boy, I like him. He said, we came to school so that we can make money. And so I told him, I said, you'll be disappointed. I said, because, thank you. I said, because we did not go to school to make money. In fact, the people that make money, don't let me say most of them, plenty of them did not go to school. Thank you, sir. Are we up? All right. I said, I want to speak to you. When education meets purpose, beyond schooling and beyond teaching. Give me the first slide. I have to run very fast. I have to run very, very fast. You see, if we don't have this understanding, even when you teach online or you teach physically, you are still going to be going around with the same mentality. And honestly speaking, I have the privilege of coaching a lot of online teachers. I have the privilege of coaching a lot of offline teachers, and I see a missing gap. The missing gap is that the attention is on the child. The attention is on learning also, but the attention is not on the solution that the child can bring. The attention is not on what, please? Solution that the child can bring. Oh, yes. Thank you very much. I said there is a battle. I don't know how many people believe that there is a battle. There is what I call war against intelligence. Everybody, I know that this one is very common. Olodo. Yes, it's very common. Everybody now know what is happening. And then some people too came up and said, we now have a movement called Ologbo Uprising. So the battle now is between Olodos and please permit me to let you understand. If you are Ologbo, the green one, I hope you know that there is already a current system that is against you. There's a system against us. Don't let me put it, no, against us. There's a system, there's a war against intelligent people that are of African descent and that stays in Africa. In fact, you don't have problem if you are outside Africa. Oh yes. If you pack your bag and everything today and you move from Nigeria to United States of America, you are going to be dealing with system designed to block you over there. But in Nigeria, there are systems that are designed just to make sure that our voices as intelligent people is not well propagated. Please, are you following me, please? Please follow my train of thought quickly. Please. I said there is what I call war against intelligence. And where does it start from? There's this thing called modern slavery. Everywhere you see modern slavery is always about female intimidation, sexual humiliation. They coin it. There are like several agenda around that. But nobody has ever talked about modern slavery in the context of ensuring that people of a society are not intelligent. I'm not saying individual. That a people that stays in a country, they don't value intelligence. They value entertainment. I hope I'm still speaking to teachers. Am I speaking to us? Oh, yes. Please follow my train of thought. Modern slavery is only possible. This was actually a statement made by a Chinese in Nigeria. Modern slavery is only possible when people are what? Unintelligent. And what does that mean? Please, next slide. Thank you, I think. I said there is a science. Thank you. Put it like this. There's a science of raising unintelligent places. Drafted. Number one, a system designed it. In other words, what does this mean? We want to make, I want to be careful with what I want to say now. We want to make Abuja a place where there are more unintelligent people there than intelligent people. So that one day, they won't look at what they have beneath their feet and they say they want to do it by themselves. So that one day they won't send Shell out of their country to say, we want to start refining our crude oil by ourselves. So the only way we can do it is to make sure that their citizens are not intelligent, but that not just their citizens, their generations are not intelligent. And how? There's a science to it. A system designs it. Media promotes it. Players execute it. And people do what? Accept it. It's a science. They did this in Saudi Arabia when Saudi Arabia was boasting that they were the only nation without a case of HIV/AIDS. A system was raised against them. System. And then a media promotes whatever it is that that system created. A player, or let me say players, people were actually imported into a place just to tarnish that statement. And then people accept it. Please, teachers, are you still following me? Teachers, are you still with me? What is the cutoff of JAMB? What's the cutoff of JAMB now? 150. In fact, do you know that to get to College of Education now, you don't need JAMB? No, are you hearing it for the first time? Once you are through with your senior secondary school 3 and you have your WAEC results, you go into your college of your choice college of education, obtain the form, and go in. There's no need for JAMB again. No need to say, I want to choose a choice because of my choice. No. In fact, the way it's going on right now, you just come in like that. And when you come in like that, he said by the time you get to 200 level, you can now even use it to process admission into university. Is it bad? Eh? Is it bad? No, it's not bad. Are we not the ones shouting that out of school children are much? Over 30 million, 20 million, everything there out of school. And then the Ministry of Education says we want to help all of you. And the way we can help you is to make sure that everybody go in. And when you go in, the only thing I have against that is that it's suiting a particular agenda. Teachers, please, are you still with me? It's suiting a particular agenda. You see that NEL fund agenda, that funding agenda. Watch out. We are going to be plenty that will collect the money. You know, and as we are collecting, when it's time to pay you back, we also be very plenty. Let's go. Please, next slide, please. Do you have it? Hold on, please, here. TikTok was made where? China. Thank you. But do you notice that TikTok does not work in China? What works in China, the TikTok version of China is called Douyin. The Douyin in China is only accessible to only people that stays in China. Chinese knew that the only way to fight the West is to control information. It's not to control weapon. It's not to control anything. It's to control information. That if certain information does not penetrate into us, they cannot defeat us. In fact, we may likely defeat them. So in 2021, YouTube did not work from January to July in China. Why? Because there was violation. China says, this is how our own YouTube. We know you brought it, but this is how our YouTube must work here. If you violate it, we will stop it. We have everything. We have every right to stop that media because we know it's not about YouTube. It's about a design that you want to give to us. Now, please follow me carefully. The Douyin has more advanced features with e-commerce solutions. On TikTok, the TikTok that works in China does a lot with e-commerce. So as a teacher, I know that a lot of online teachers, you get a lot of people, on TikTok, you get people and say, oh, I used to be a class teacher before, but right now I'm not an online teacher. And then, there's so many people that says have online presence, especially TikTok. Teach like 3 minutes on TikTok. I agree. It's a very fantastic one. The only challenge is that system was not built for you. That's why you are not having 10K likes. No, ask the person beside you. Since you have been having online presence, how many likes do you have on your post? So that you will understand. And I'm going somewhere. Look at it. Older users and viewers compared to TikTok. On this domain of China, there are more viewers and users. Older. Our TikTok available worldwide except in China. Only short videos with funny and entertaining content. You know, if you speak, I can tell you. In fact, there was a time I sat down and I checked. I noticed that the people that have quality information, educational content to push up. Do you notice that educational content don't sell anymore? If you post now, if you are an educational content creator right now, I can tell you, I can predict your likes. I'm not saying comment, your likes, except you jump on a trend like Tony Elumelu and our sweet girl. You now jump on it and say 7 lessons from Tony Elumelu and this girl. That is when you will have people will now be talking. They will now be saying, yes, I said it. This one. And you have to say something that they want to hear. Because if you say something that people don't want to hear, younger users, 50%. Please, let's go on. Modern slavery. Took it. Of course, you think I will talk like this? I will not talk about Pella. I will talk about Pella. I'm not beefing him. He's just a player. Please don't forget the science of unintelligent places. System design it. Media promote it. Players execute it. You see, these 2 guys attended Pella's wedding. These 2. One of them, the name of one of them is Gregory. They gave him $20,000 for the wedding. Before that time, they've given him thousands of dollars. Just as a TikToker. They just give him money. Because some people are wondering, where does Pella make money from? Is it not to do stream? Is it not to be a streamer? Am I right? Like a teacher told me one time, he said, please, I want to be a streamer. I said, you will make money. I said, the only problem is you won't make meaning. The consolation we have as teachers is that while we are trying to make money, we are also making what? Meaning. One of these guys is a philanthropist in America. Guess his biggest donation. Guess where he gives the most to in America? He gives it to a school. Oh, yes. Please, you can Google it. In fact, if you put it on AI, let me teach you what you are going to do on AI. Because really, when you go for conference like this and people are talking the way I'm talking, you have to fact check. I say, so this guy is not coming to come and give us bobo. Let us try and AI will give you. Just ask that 2 white men came to Nigeria to celebrate Pella on, the wedding. Can you tell me, one of them is a philanthropist. Please tell me where his money goes to in America. You will see it on it. AI will tell you. He gives money to schools in America as donation. Please, somebody that gives money to schools in America, what do you expect him if he wants to give money to people in Nigeria? Who are the people that he's supposed to give money to? Teachers, schools, out of school children. But why do you think he's giving money to? Because they are players in the system. A system must ensure. You see, what do you think is the... And let me say something, online teachers. Please, I'm saying it right now so that people can begin to adjust themselves. And please, we need also, not just because you want to make the dollars, you want to make the pounds. We also need to develop our own. Then as you're making the pounds, the naira you make in Nigeria will last longer. Because the agenda on ground now is that we are being starved in our own land so that people out of there, they are coming back to this place to take over our schools. They are tired of us moving to them. They now want to set up. Do you know the number of British schools that have set up in Nigeria in the last 3 years? Do you see how much they collect? And do you see how many people in those schools? I was speaking to a school owner. I've been consulting for schools since 2014. I was speaking to a school owner in 2017. I told her, I said, please, ma, it is time to start a secondary school. The woman has just spent 3 years and the growth has been massive. She told me, said, no, we don't do secondary school like that. I will just start GSS 1. Once I start GSS 1, I will run them. They'll get to GSS 2. Then another GSS 1 will come in. So I said, so you will run for 6 years before you have all the classes in secondary school. Say, yes, Wale, that is the best. 2017. When Charterhouse Lagos started, and the following year they started secondary school, and they didn't start they didn't start year 7. They started all the classes. She was the first to call me. I forgot it. She reminded me. He said, Wale, did you remember that you told me this thing? I said, I told you. I said, but I understand you. You wanted to use those 1984, 1989 style when it's only one school in the whole of Abuja. Look at this. They design it and they pump money into the players so that the players can motivate others. So they don't like learning. Teachers, do you know where I'm going? I want you to see deeper than you are teaching a child either online or in the class, and the child is not paying attention, and all you can say to the boy, my friend, will you stop that? Sit here. During my time, I corrected the teacher. I said, please don't use that language again. It shows me that you are not qualified to be a teacher in the 21st century. There's nothing called during our time. If you compare us with these children, you are missing the point. The first thing is that we are called digital immigrants. We are immigrants. I don't understand. How can I be in Nigeria and somebody will call me immigrant? But they are correct. One of my staff, his name is Tunde. Tunde is 21. Tunde has been working with me since 2024. This 2026, 2021. I got Tunde as a staff and I started paying him salary when he was 17, 16, 18. Tunde have only one assignment and I thank God. I pay for it, but I don't mind. He's the one that teaches me apps. Any new apps that is out, you must teach me. The boy has a way of embarrassing me when he's teaching me. He just tell me, sir, you are old. I said, I've been cautioning. What do you mean? Is something wrong with you? How can you say I'm old? He says, sir. I said, you are old. Look at the way your phone is. Say, just outlook of phone. Tunde thought, thank God, though, I didn't mind everything he's saying. He just has a way of entering me sometimes. But I told the teacher, I said, look at this boy beside me. I picked him up after he left secondary school. If going by what he says to me when he's teaching me how to use apps, recently he taught me Gems on Gemini, that I created my own assistant tutor. There are so many things I'm learning now that if not for the fact that the guy is teaching me, I will now say, I remember my time. What happened to my time? Our time. The best thing they did to us during our time, I'm telling you, I don't want to say it. So please, teachers, when the children in your class are not paying attention, enough of saying I will slap your face. Is that what I ask you to do? No. What you are dealing with is more than those children. They are victim of a system that has vowed that they will never be intelligent. Some of them they vow that except you come to our place to study, to work, and to do everything, we will make sure that to remain in Nigeria is a disadvantage for you. And I believe right now that the only factor that will save those children are seated here. True of us. We are the ones who, honestly speaking, it's not the parents. The parents don't understand what I'm saying. Men, I work with a boy in Lagos. I'm still working with them. Now we have converted it to online. The father is an executive in Dangote company. The man introduced himself, said, look at me now. When I was young, I don't listen in class. I was very stubborn. I'm this, I'm that. I said, how can you, in the presence of the boy, what are you doing to the boy? You are just emphasizing that this. I hope this man will make my work like this. And then the man said, please, if not for my wife, that says we should have a coach. This one, that one. My son loves football. I said, football. I said, me too. My son too love football. My son has football academy. My son. I said, but sir, when your son is 40-year old, I told the man, I said, the oldest footballer right now is Cristiano Ronaldo. 41 years. But the Ronaldo of now is not the Ronaldo of 5 years ago. True of us. I said, sir, when your son is 40, what will happen if football is the only thing you want to face? Say, sir, if he's going to face football, please let us build him for the days when he will no longer be in the face of everybody. You know why some celebrities are mysterious? They were used to the camera. They were used to the attention. But there was nothing backing it. So when the camera went off and the camera started shining on others, what do you think? I've been waiting for you to stand up, sis. So please, do you understand what I'm saying? You, please talk to somebody beside you and tell that person, you are the one that will work against the system that wants to make us unintelligent. Oh, yes. Please, when you are talking to a child, I know you teach English, like my sister. When you are talking to them, don't just teach them English language alone. No. Look at them when they are throwing tantrums and you are looking at them. The behavior looks somehow. Look at them and said, I understand. Children are victims. Don't forget this statement. Children are what? Victims. A woman brought a child to me. And as the woman was going to tell me what the child did, she started crying in the presence of the boy. And then I saw the way, it was as if you want to give chocolate to a boy. I saw the way her face came alive. The minute the mother started crying, she was very happy. I told the boy, I said, excuse me. The boy stepped out. I looked at the woman. I said, ma, I want to tell you something. Never in your life cry in the presence of this boy again. Say, your cry means joy to him. He's so happy. Say, So the more you are trying to change him, and then you are not getting the result, and you are crying, the more he's saying, yes, I will do more. This thing is affair. They are treated like that. But I told her, I said, it's not him. It's a system. A school owner nursed a boy with pornography for 3 years. The son of a school owner. The boy is using the mother's laptop to watch pornography every night for 3 years. And why? Because the mother is the mother sleep deep. So the boy waits when it's 10 o'clock till 3 a.m. One day the woman just woke up by chance. Some people does not wake up in the middle of the night. Sorry, I'm just looking at what you can. Okay. Some people does not wake up in the middle of the night. She just woke up by chance around 2 a.m. and saw light and said, where is that light coming from? And then opened it and said, with my laptop. And the boy will do it clean, sharp. When it's done, package the laptop back, give it to the woman, open it the following day, and be looking at teachers. People cannot work. I said, this is what I want you to do. At the backside, the son. And why? By the time the school owner called me to tell me, I said, can you imagine? Which kind of children are we raising now? I said, no, ma. Which kind of parent are you? How can you be sleeping by 10 o'clock and you don't even know? Your son is not sleeping, you don't know. They came to fix the Wi-Fi in my house one day, and they told me, they said, sir, this Wi-Fi is not supposed to be off. You should not be turning it off. I said, is it your Wi-Fi? It's mine. My Wi-Fi off when I'm going to sleep. I don't care who is using it. I don't care what they are transferring. Whatever anybody transfer, that Wi-Fi is going off. Off. I don't know. I don't like propagating what is not. There's a movie on Netflix. They call it 365. A boy that I was working with, the mother reported him to me. He said, my son has watched part 1, part 2, part 3. He said, when we were not around. I said, how? He said, there is light, there is TV, and there is Wi-Fi. I said, I don't blame light. I don't blame TV. I blame what? I said, because Wi-Fi is not a natural, what will I call it now? Resources. It is not. It is because you have privilege to buy. Do you know how some people keep data? Some people monitor data as if it's their heartbeat. Hey, you are using too much data. It's my data, my data, my data. I say, hey, those people cannot sit down with Netflix. Do you notice? Hey, they can't. They can't say I'm going out, so I want to put the boy in charge of Netflix. I said, no. There are some homes that it is DSTV that some children should have. Not for anything. A system is designed against them. You must create your own system to oppose that system. There's an algorithm now that once they see that is a boy or a girl that is watching something on the laptop, they start popping up certain adverts that will never come up if it's you. Why? They design those adverts and those pages to come up when they see that is a young person that is there. Dating sites that does not allow 21-year-old to come in. Only between 12 and 18. I'm telling you the truth. So why? Because a system was designed against them. One last one. This is the last one. Teachers, what are we going to do? If I don't talk about this last one, honestly, I will not be happy. Please. Growth is the solution to poverty. Because this is one of the leading causes for a teacher not to pay close attention. See, when we talk about professionalism in teaching, you cannot talk about professionalism in teaching and not talk about poverty. In fact, there are so many people that are making it big in online teaching today, and they are now jam talking. And why? Because they are making money, but that's all they have. And some people are so poor, the only thing they have is money. Why I'm saying this is that, please, teachers, if you want to handle children well, you must grow. If you want to really live well and enjoy money, oh yes, 4 years ago, I took it up as part of my mandate and mission. I want to see teachers live well. Not live, not like you are waking up, you are sleeping. No, I want to see teachers live in abundance. And somebody park a very beautiful, good car, stays in a fantastic house, and they ask, sir, what do you do? I say, I'm a teacher. Eh? What? Are you sure? How? How is that possible? I said, I'm a teacher. Why? In my estate in Lagos, one day, I didn't have a car then. I was going to work, going to school as an administrator. And then a man that has a car stopped and picked me. While we were in the car, the man started gisting with me and just asked me, say, Coach Wale, Mr. Wale, how far? I said, I'm fine. He said, how is work? I let you work in Nigeria Stock Exchange. The response was straight. I said, I work in school stock exchange. A stock exchange called school. The man didn't understand. I said, a nursery and primary school. The man said, how? I said, yes, that's where I work. And you know why? Because in the estate, everybody, the way I used to dress to school, I will wear suit. I don't like normal tie. I love floral ties. I take floral ties. I bought 12 shirts. God is my witness. I bought 12 shirts from a place called Katangwa for some people that are in South to understand. And then those clothes cannot follow me home because the perfume on those clothes alone can carry a lot of. So I took it straight to the dry cleaner. And then the dry cleaner starched those shirts. 6 of them are white. I can't forget. White starch shirts. By the time I wore the first one, if you see me, I look like a man that washed with apart. Everything was like this. So I don't need to raise my shoulder. Those clothes, naturally. Parents that used to call me Wale in school started calling me, sir. Hello, sir. I said, this thing is working. There's a woman that sells something at the junction of my estate. Every time I come from the bike, he will just say, Pastor, welcome. One day the woman called me and said, Pastor, come. Should I your church? The way I'm looking at you, you have good church members. They should buy car for you now. I'm telling you, the woman said it in Yoruba language. He said, because you don't look like somebody that should be on bike. I said, ma, I'm not a pastor. I work in a school. She didn't believe. I made it a point. I said, no, I want to make sure that teachers, you live so well in abundance. You observe your vacation. I attended a conference 3 days ago. The convener of that conference was an online conference, was going to start with her speech. My time is up. Thank you, ma. With her speech, she said, I'm doing this conference from Australia. I said, thank you, Jesus. Because I know her. She's a teacher in a school in Lagos. But this August, she has spent all this August in Australia. She's coming back maybe on Monday. Say, yes. Now, I have what it takes now. My eyes can see clearly now. I can now. I say, hey, these are the kind of teacher that I want to. That in August, by July, you're already telling your school, please, anything you want to do, I'm not coming for summer. I'm sorry. Anything you want to do, please, because I'm traveling. I'm going to Australia, or I'm going to US. I'm going to UK. And then I'm spending 2 weeks. I'm coming back. That means anybody that does not come for summer, that person should not collect salary. Madam, calm down. Calm down. Is it salary? That's okay. See you in September. You just go. It's not pride. It's growth. Growth is what? Is the solution to what? Yes. Madam, the owner of the school too, by August, she's not under pressure. Will the children come? Will they come? Will they not come? No. Everybody is calm. But the reason why it looks as if it's very far is because a system is working against it. And if it's going to work, a system must make it work. Please, do you understand what I've said? A system. It takes system to grow. So if you want to grow, please love system. I hope with this viewpoint of mine, I have been able to convince you and not confuse you. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Coach Wale. Please, let's give our hands together for him. More hands. Please, let's keep clapping till it sits. Thank you very much, Coach Wale. And we'll keep the rest for later. So now we've talked about the system, the learners, the educators, and what happens in the classroom. So let's take the conversation a little different. So usually educators are constantly creating things, lesson plans, curriculum, teaching resources. We've had someone talk about designing worksheets. Yes, Miss Toby had talked about designing worksheets. We have a number of people who may also be designing their courses and even developing new ways of solving problems. But there's a question I think we don't ask often, and that means the question is, who owns what we create, especially in this age of AI? That is a very difficult question to answer. And so our next speaker is particularly well positioned to help us to answer that question. He is the director of the WIPO Nigeria office, the first WIPO external office in sub-Saharan Africa. He has worked extensively across innovation, entrepreneurship, and intellectual property. Through initiatives such as IP Shalaye and IP Labs, he has helped more than 300 Nigerian startups to understand how to protect, commercialize, and also leverage their ideas. He is also returning to Reboot Ed after an impactful session with us last year. And so we'll be looking at education from a very different angle today through creativity, ownership, and the value of ideas. So without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, please join me in welcoming Dr. Oluwatobiloba Moody, the Director of WIPO Nigeria Office. A warm round of applause.
Welcome, sir.
Thank you very much. Good afternoon, everyone. It's a real pleasure to be here. And I think to start, I want to also join Coach Wale starting to the way he leaned in. I just want to say a very big thank you to you for your fantastic presentation. And I got a bit of my namesake, Oluwatobiloba's presentation as well. Thank you. But I want to start by thanking the organizers. And I want us to please, let's appreciate Learnify. It's a real honor to be here today and also to just congratulate them, especially on this second edition of the Reboot Ed conference. I'm really excited to have been part of the first, and I think when I was invited to join again for this second edition, I had no hesitation, and so I want to say thank you to my dear pastor and brother as well. Fiflo, thank you for the opportunity to be a part, and of course, Binfag. Really appreciate. I think like Coach Wale, when I saw your call this morning, sense, I just arranged. Yes, we have to be here as quick as possible. So thank you so much again. I also want to thank my daughter. I dragged her out this morning. Andrew, thank you for coming with me. Yes. She doesn't like me embarrassing her, but I like to do that a lot. I think many fathers would agree that that's our chief responsibility is to embarrass our kids when we go out. So I like to do that as many times as possible. And so today I will be speaking very briefly on maybe just keeping that conversation going. And I'm tempted not to follow exclusively the slides that I have, but just to, in the spirit of the conversations that have happened so far, to just continue from where Coach Wale I think has leaned in. And I think for me, I just want to maybe initiate it from the point of why we have schools. And I think I like the points that you make that school at the heart of it is to create problem solvers. It's really to identify and build people to solve world problems. And I think that's a very important thing. And as we look at how education has moved through the years, there are some subjects that I learned in school that I'm not surprised my children are not learning, because it doesn't feel relevant. I mean, how many people did business methods and you had to learn shorthand? Do you understand why you learned shorthand? You see, but it was one of those courses I dreaded so much. We come to school, we learn shorthand, but over time, many of you use shorthand in your writing anyway, not necessarily what was taught, but you have developed your own unique style of codifying information as you move along. But there's some subjects that you begin to see could look like they are just designed to tick a box of learning, but don't really add value in the context of where the world has evolved and what the children are being prepared to face. And so today, what I want to do is to speak on that topic of from creativity to ownership, building an IP culture in Nigerian education. I've promised that I'm going to send the slides after, but I was hoping that the interactions today can also help me to finalize some of the points so that it's a really comprehensive document that is shared with the participants. What I want to do is to talk a little bit about human creativity. And as my dear sister Temi has said at the outset, a lot of my focus is going to be on intellectual property, on owning ideas. So that's the angle I want to come into. I want to maybe just lean in with a little analogy or an anecdote. When there is an interaction that happens between an educator and a learner, there's always, if we're thinking about an endpoint being the solving of problems, then I believe that there's always going to be ideas, there's information that's exchanged, and in that midst of that, I mean, if I was going to ask, who do you think is more intelligent? I mean, he's talked about intelligence as a factor, but when a learner sits down and an educator sits down, who do you think is more intelligent? We don't have to answer, because some people will say, well, you're telling me that I'm not as intelligent as the person. I went to a school once, and a professor said that everything that the students develop belonged to him, because he is the one that gives them a chance to think. And I thought, but how can a professor in a university think that way? Do you see? So if someone believes that everything you create belongs to him or her because they're your instructors, then it means that you as a learner, there is this sense that maybe your ideas are not as good to solve problems. Maybe it still needs another level of validation to be able to solve a problem. And what I want to challenge you today with is a thought that intellectual property sits both on the side of the learner, but also on the side of the educator. So there are opportunities on both sides. And I think over the slides I want to share today, over the discussion, sorry, I just want to be able to show you that intellectual property, as an educator, you have a privilege and an opportunity to be able to inspire young learners from an early age to do three things. One, to believe in their ideas, to believe in the value of what they carry. They might be stupid. It might sound stupid, but I think research tells us that there is a period of a child's life where you cannot understand what they are saying because they don't see the world like you. They haven't been brought into these systems, into these constructs that make them believe things are not possible. You know, my children sometimes would tell me some things, and I think to myself, hey, look, when you're older, you understand. You know, that's how older people think, right? But my son can say things like, you know, Daddy, why don't we have a car that does like this? And I'm like, well, just that's not how things work. This is how cars are meant to behave. But what he is thinking, he's seeing something different. And you know, over time, society trains people not to think, not to believe that those ideas make sense. And then over time, they come into a place where they also fit within that cycle, and then we've lost opportunities of innovation. Okay? So when you go into spaces or into communities where children, young people are given that belief, that self-belief in the ideas that they carry, it follows them and it translates in their workplaces, it translates in how they see the world. So that's one thing. The second thing I wanted to say in terms of what I'm hoping this conversation would do is also to help us to see that we have responsibility. So people from educators helping young people to see that they have responsibility to solve the problems around them. You know, a lot of times I wonder or I'm amazed when I see systems that work. You know, sometimes I truly feel somewhere that maybe God came down and spent time with humans and then quickly ran away. You know, and when I'm thinking that way, it's because I'm actually doubting that humans can think at the level where they design systems that truly work. And when you grow up in a system that's dysfunctional, that things don't seem to be working, we can easily think that we're waiting for some people from elsewhere to come and fix that system. But as educators, we also have an opportunity to help people to see that we are responsible for fixing our problems. In the space where I work, so intellectual property, you will find that a lot of solutions to problems, and I'll get to what intellectual property is in a minute, but you find that a lot of solutions to problems, they require people to pay for it. So if you're going to find a solution, for example, to a problem of malaria, if they say, oh, there's a high incidence of malaria in this country, the reason someone would sit down and design a drug that addresses it is because they see a business in it and people are willing to pay for it. And many times we would feel like, oh, we hear conversations like, it's not fair. You're solving other problems that affect some people in some parts of the world, but you're not investing in research that solves problems that affect here. And I think the reality is that we need to be seeing that let people from here also understand that we have a responsibility to solve our local problems. And so the essence, one of the essence of the schools as well, of the school system, is to bridge that gap between the local challenges and the ability to think out problems, think out solutions that solve those local problems. So I think that's the second main thing that I'm hoping that from the conversation we get out today. And so maybe very quickly, just to say about human innovation, about creativity now, and I'll be using a lot of references from Nigeria as well, just because some of the work that we've been doing, I want to draw from some of the work we're doing as an organization, WIPO, and also in the context of what I'm seeing happening in country. Now, first and foremost, WIPO is an agency of the United Nations, and so we are one of the United Nations bodies, and the work that we do is to really promote intellectual property. And if you ask me what is intellectual property, it really refers to a form of property that can be owned. And that's why the idea of from creativity to ownership, I think is really, really spot on. So the same way that we think about regular property, like the idea of owning a house or owning land, it's the same concept of property that's now also attached to things that you cannot really see. So intangible forms of property. And why I use the reference to things that you can see is because the same principles that define property ownership also apply in the ones that you cannot see. So for example, if I own a house, I can decide to rent out my house. I can decide that, I'm going to live in one of the rooms of my house. I'm going to rent out another room so that I can make money from that. I can even decide I want to sell the house. Or I own a car, I can say I'm not going to sell the car, but I want to pay someone to use it for Uber and be giving me money regularly. You make those kind of decisions when you own property. Is that right? And that's why over time, property has been seen as a vehicle for attracting wealth, for transferring wealth. Okay? So when you have property, it really gives you rights. It gives you the ability to transfer, to make money, but also to transfer wealth, and to generate wealth. And so if you look at over time in human society, that's been the standards. But we now have another form of property that is really where all the wealth, most of the global wealth is now shifting to. And this is where we talk about intellectual property. Think about um, maybe I just give you an example so that I make sure that you understand what I'm talking about. If I'm thinking about a book that has been written, so if you as an educator who's been teaching a particular subject decided to write a book on that subject, and you publish that book, and someone or a school takes that book, buys that book, now it's expected that some money comes back to you, right? Because you have written that book. But if that school that takes the book says, well, we have paid for the book, and so now it's our book, does this book belong to them? But it does. I mean, the copy belongs to them, right? Okay, we don't seem to agree. The copy. So when a school, if I buy a book, like we went for the networking session now, if I bought one of those books, don't I own the book? I own, what do I own? The copy of the book. Toby says the copy of the book. Okay, you all agree, right? I own the copy of the book. What don't I own? I don't own the content of the book. What does that mean? So I mean, I can read the book, right? So I can stop somebody else from reading the book because it's mine, right? But then what part of the content? So where does my right stop? I can't. Okay, I can't take out content from it and say it's mine. Okay, without referencing. That's one. Okay. You s- Okay, I can't take the content out and sell it to become, okay, that's a good point. Do we see that? So you said, okay. So do you see that? Do you see that there are some limits to the rights that I have, even though I bought the book? Now, what is preventing me from doing all these things that you're saying I can't do? Who owns that right to do those things? The person that wrote the book, right? Or the person that published the book, depending on who owns that book. Now, that means that there is someone somewhere who, even though he's not physically present, the rights are still present. And how long does that person have the rights to do that? Do you know? For the person's entire lifetime, plus 70 years again after the person dies. So for that length of period, you cannot copy, you cannot claim that work to be yours. You cannot adapt it. You cannot, because I bought it and I'll go to the library, I photocopy the book, I repackage it and print it, they're coming for you. So somebody is making money from every book that's sold. That is intellectual property. You have the physical copy, but someone has the intangible right over the things that you have. Now, that's just one form, right? And educators are always dealing with literary and artistic works. On a day-to-day basis, you're publishing. There was a gentleman who told me like he had compiled maybe jam past question papers from maybe like 20 years, and he had packaged it and he wanted to sell it. And I said, did you get NUC rights? We're asking all those questions. And true to it, as he started publishing, people came for him, right? Why? Because other people had rights to the things he was saying were his. So today, I just want to share with you some of those thoughts around intellectual property. And I think it would help us as we engage with learners, both to inspire them to protect their own intellectual property, but also as teachers to see the opportunities that we have to develop intellectual property and protect it for ourselves. Now, in earlier this year, I'm wondering if okay, yeah, let me talk about it. So earlier this year, we organized a camp for young girls in Abuja. It's the first time we'd have something like that. But the camp was we had about 51 girls from over 20 schools in Abuja. Um, yes, it was 51 girls from about 10 to 15 schools in Abuja. We had a mix of public and private schools. And all these girls were between the ages of 13 and 17. And what we did was we brought them together. We had taken them first through lessons on intellectual property. So they had a fair understanding of what IP was. And then we brought them into a room for about 5 days. And we put them in groups. We worked with them, but they had 2 IP experts. They had 1 business expert. And really, they were just in that room to try and solve problems. Now, at the end of the experience, what we were trying to do, of course, why we focused on girls was one, we were trying to bridge the gender gap. But we were also trying to get them to work in groups. And I think one of the things that really struck us was that we saw amongst the girls, there was, depending on their ages, depending on their schools, where they were from, some people were struggling with confidence. It wasn't that they didn't have ideas, and it wasn't that they weren't brilliant, but they were struggling with confidence to express and to believe like they could solve. And there seemed to be some other participants from other schools who they came into the room really believing like the world belonged to them. You see, and even the way they were talking to some of the other girls was more like, no, 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 I'm the one talking, you listen to me, you know? And I thought to myself as I watched that interaction, that one of the greatest things that I'm seeing from those is that when we now ask the teachers, what do they do? It was how some of these girls are encouraged to think independently, the kind of spaces that they're given, and the way some of their ideas are appreciated. And I think that's one first thing I want to share with us, that can we create spaces where younger people, as they come through schools, believe more that their ideas matter, that they are not they're not always needing to meet up with that bigger idea that it seems like the world believes is the standard. But from their little place, the way they see a simple problem, we gave them some tasks that were regular tasks that if I looked at the task, how do I solve this problem? I'll say this way. In fact, if most of us looked at it, we'll all say one way. But the young people who were not exposed to these kind of tasks before, they all thought about it differently. But some of them felt I'm wrong, so they don't want to say it. But the idea was, can we get them to express what they believe? Because in there, we were finding new solutions to some of the problems that already had been existing already. Now, I start with that because I wanted to just say that, like some of the girls, when they came through, we exposed to them, we explained to them that the amount of money that used to be in this area of intellectual property wasn't as much. But what's happening is that year on year, that valuation is just getting bigger and bigger. And so currently it's at about $100 trillion. Now that's how much is really sitting in the realm of intangibles. So like 100 trillion, think about that. So it means that most of the money, when people have a company and they sell their company, most times about 90% of that value is not physical property, it's intellectual property. Okay? And so it starts from the schools. Sorry, I'm trying to move quite quickly through the slides. But then it's intellectual property essentially then it gives you ownership rights over those creations of the mind. So those things that you create, like inventions, the literary and artistic works, the designs and symbols, those names and images that are used in commerce, the idea is that IP gives you a form of rights over that, over the protection of that. You have different types of IP. You can have, for example, patents. Now, a patent is different from a copyright. A copyright is different from a trademark. Now, these are different forms of intellectual property, but they are all important. And I'll explain very briefly. Now, the reason why we have intellectual property in the first place, and then I'll come to explaining the different forms, but the reason why we have intellectual property is to promote human innovation and creativity. So the reason why there is a system of intellectual property at all is so that people can be more innovative and creative. It gives incentives to people to be more innovative and creative. So by that, I mean, I gave an example of a drug solving problem before, but when people know that my creativity is going to be rewarded if I invest time in it, there's a tendency for people to spend more time in creative works. Is that right? And the same thing, if you know that at the end of investing time, resources in coming up with a new solution to a problem, I can earn rewards or I can earn returns from it. The chances are that people will spend more time doing that. And so the idea of the intellectual property system is to create an incentive for human innovation and human creativity to flourish. Now, this is why thinking about intellectual property in the context of the education system, it matters. Because we need to have younger people, we have to have educators as well as learners who are driven to express their innovation and creativity. And so the way the IP system protects that is through these different forms. And I would say in the context of education, I'll highlight just about 3 of them. Now, a trademark, I mean, a trademark, it's it helps you to design a personality around a brand, for example. So it helps you to build a distinctive identity around a product or a person. So think about a phone that people would use. People might say, like, I use an Apple phone, an iPhone. Someone might say, I use a Samsung. Or someone might say, I use a Nokia phone. Now, every time you hear a name of a phone, oftentimes, you know, there's something that comes to your mind about the phone. Is that right? For some people, they might feel like, okay, an iPhone is just for people who like to show off. I was surprised. My daughter once, she talked about a particular shoe, and she says that this shoe is basically for people who like, is for this type of people. And I'm like, what do you mean by this type of people? Do you understand? Or some people will say they buy a car. You have a Lexus, you have a Toyota. If I was to ask who, if you were to buy a Lexus or a Toyota, which one would you likely go for? A Toyota. Why would you go for a Toyota one? Okay. Did you hear that? So she has this sense that a Toyota is more functional. If anything happens, I need to fix it, I will find the parts of a Toyota. Now, anyone else? Lexus or Toyota? Lexus. Why a Lexus? It's finer. Ha. Did you hear that? It's finer. Now, if you find that the Lexus is more expensive than the Toyota, which one will you still buy? But you have the money for both. Which one will you buy? Lexus. You have the money for both, Lexus or Toyota. Do you know what the difference is? I mean, it's the same company that produces the two, right? Right? Lifestyle. Someone said lifestyle. Now, but what's the difference also is that Lexus has created a personality in the marketplace. And what they've done is that they now make a sense that you can buy a Lexus. It's the same company. In fact, many times you might find a Toyota is stronger. A lot of people who buy Toyotas will say it's more reliable. They just have that sense that a Toyota is reliable. Now, that is the brand that Toyota has built around itself. The Lexus, it appeals to a type of people who feel like we want to be different. Like there's a luxury that we want to be able to show that we have. Now, even though you're paying more for it, you like the fact that it creates that identity for yourself. Now, that's what a trademark can do. And so you find that people would walk into a store, whether it's something as simple as bottled water, and you look on the shelf, you see Swan, you see Aquafina, you see Nestle, and you pick one, even if they're the same prices. Why do you pick one over the other? They taste the same thing, right? But you look at a brand and you say, okay, no, maybe I'm used to Aquafina. I just like Aquafina, and then you buy Aquafina, right? And so trademarks, they build customer loyalty. Now thinking about that in the education space, there was a lady who she was a professor, but she left her job. And what she just decided was to create a market. And she decided to start writing a blog consistently. She calls herself, I mean, the name of her blog is The Professor is In. But she will consistently write and she would say, look, if you can follow 1, 2, 3, I guarantee you will get this kind of job in the education space. She started it. Now, anywhere you go, when people are applying for jobs, at least this was in North America, a lot of times people will ask you, have you read this woman's book? What she has built is she has built a brand. Do you see that? As an educator, she had built something. She began to monetize it. So then she allows people to have content up to a certain point. Then you have to pay to access other content, right? What she was doing was she was monetizing her resources. Now she has books, publications that go all around the world on the same thing, but she's using IP, a brand, but also the copyright to now draw resources for herself. Now, the other one is patents, and you hear a lot about now trademarks, by the way. I'll encourage you maybe just to say that if you were thinking about it, if you have content, like we even saw Coach Wale. On Coach Wale, I noticed on his slides, on Coach Wale's sides, he has Coach Wale written on all the sides. Now, what he's doing is also he's creating his brand. And so one day you might be somewhere and you just see the slides and say, I know this Coach Wale. I know Coach Wale. And so if you see a book and you just see Coach Wale, I know I've interacted with him before. He's building his identity. And so if you haven't done that, the problem for someone like, not a problem, but if Coach Wale hasn't registered that mark, I might like what Coach Wale is doing. I run to the trademarks registry and I register Coach Wale. Thank you. Okay. And I register Coach Wale. Now that means that when Coach Wale then decides to publish a book or to put some content out, I can go back and say, sorry, you cannot use that slang. That belongs to me. And then Coach Wale says, but I've been using this for the past 5 years. Everybody say, well, I then begin to market my product under that same thing, and I push Coach Wale out. So if you are thinking about it, I'll say from an early stage, register your trademarks, right? It can be a school, it can be a business, it can be something that you're building around your resources, the way that is unique to you in terms of explaining your work. Don't be scared to register it and then start to build an identity around it. Now, the other one on patents, and maybe patents is not as connected, but this is important, especially for younger learners, because when you solve a problem, one of the things that the IP system tries to do is to encourage people to solve problems. So you have the patent system that rewards you for bringing a solution to a problem. So if you have a new solution to something, you have a solution that means that you've come up with a new solution to an existing problem. That's a new process or a new product. Then the IP system gives you 20 years to be the only one to commercialize that. And we've seen young people. I think it was even the other day that we were talking to some students at Gliston Academy who had come up with Mirabots. I'm sure some of you would have seen Mirabots during the COVID era. And they came up with these robots that could distribute drugs and things, and them not having to go and engage with people because of the COVID. Now, this was an innovation that students in a school, just in their thinking sense, came up with, and they began to start working on. And so what they can do is when they come up with that kind of solution, you register it in the patents registry, and then you have the rights. You have the ownership rights of it. Anybody that wants to use it has to seek your permission, and you are the one that has 20 years exclusive rights to commercialize it. Now, the last one I want to mention just for time is the copyright. And I think I mentioned this at the beginning with the books, but copyrights refer to all literary and artistic works. And so when you think about copyright, whether you write, it's not the ideas itself that are protected, but it's the way you express those ideas that's protected. And the law respects that. So if you decide that you want to do an online blog, you are publishing things online, or you are writing, or you decide to sing, you're making creative content that has music, whatever it is that you're doing, the law protects that. And you have exclusive rights for your entire lifetime, plus 70 years after that, to be able to be the only one that has the copyright in your work. Now, the interesting thing for copyright is that you don't have to register it. Copyright just subsists because you are put in a fixed form. So even if you haven't registered your work, it's good to register it, but you don't have to register it to prove ownership. That is the one, and you'll see it when you get these slides. Now, as I wrap up, I just want to say that we are now moving into a new era. Like I said, the IP system rewards human innovation and creativity. And I think there's been a lot of reference to AI. Now that there's AI, it's changing a lot of how things are working. I mean, we normally run, and I think I've mentioned this before, but we normally run a national essay competition for students across universities in Nigeria. And I noticed that over the past 1-2 years, as I look at the entries coming through, I'm just like, there's so much AI in this work. Like, it's not giving me the kind of authenticity and, the sense that we want to encourage people to research and study on IP. And the question often is that when you use AI to write your papers or to do things like that, do you own it? Can you still say that it's yours? And I think right now the law is still lots of thinking around it, but the sense is that if you have contributed substantially, there's no doubt that you're going to use AI because AI is here to stay. But there still has to be that sense that human effort, human creativity goes into that work. The moment we don't have that anymore, then we cannot reward machines. And I think that's really where the line around IP still is. And so I think that one of the things that I encourage is that, yes, the future is going to be based on AI. As we encourage and as we engage with young learners, let's engage them to use AI responsibly, not to shut out their own thinking faculties, but just to use it as ways of advocacy. And I think this is something Oluwatobiloba was mentioning, but just to use it um, in a way that supports their own creativity. The moment it's replacing that, then we are losing out on a generation. Now, the final point I'll just make is in the context of the national IP policy. And that's just to say that the country has also adopted a national intellectual property policy. And one of the things that we've seen in that policy, which was last year, it happened, is that they're working so hard to implement a a, a new system, not a system, but a new way of promoting awareness of intellectual property within schools. And so across not just secondary schools, but even primary schools, tertiary institutions, there's a sense that intellectual property should be taught at all levels. Because one of the problems is many people feel that IP or intellectual property is just for lawyers or it's just for one type of people, but it actually cuts across everyone. Everyone who can think, everyone who can build an idea, who can build a solution, should be able to understand that with intellectual property, they can actually own those things. And so from a young age, people can see that. I promised my son, and this is the last thing I'll say, but I promised him, he is someone who, I don't know how to describe his learning style, but he loves things like Rubik cubes. Rubik cubes. Yeah, so he can sit with it for hours, hours. And now he's so good with it. He times himself. I think he does it roughly 15 seconds, 18 seconds, complete it. And that's what he just does. Now, he came to my office over the week and, he just picked it up. And one of my colleagues has said, oh, you can do this. And they recorded him doing it. And, someone went home. Then she sends me that, look, my children heard about your son. And then her son records a video and sends it, asking my son, can you come and teach me this? Now, I'm getting somewhere. I told my son, I said, look, a lot of people want you to teach them how to do this thing. And I said, and he feels like it's nothing. It's nothing. And my sense is that that's what we would normally would tell the children. That is nothing. Yeah, it's just, but there's another generation where people are seeing a business opportunity, right? And even though my son is so young, he's 10, but I'm saying that there are countries where the son will be made to believe he can own an entire empire because of what he has invested time in. And I think that that's the way the Nigerian child should be made to believe. That your ideas, they might look small, but if they solve a problem, look, we can build something around you and we can monetize this, we can register, we can protect it, and we can help you to make a lot from this. So I stop with that and I say, let's make the future bright through the Nigerian child. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir. Please, let's keep clapping to the seats. Okay, so now things are going to get a bit interesting. We'll be having a panel session. Who is excited for it? I mean, you've heard from each person, and now we are bringing everybody together. So, I'll be calling our panelists forward. Please, we need to bring the chairs. Thank you. So before then, so I'm just going to shed more light on what we've started with. The world we are preparing our children for is actually changing. The world we are preparing our learners for is changing very fast than our education system is preparing them for it. And so I feel like all of us should be uncomfortable, like, this is what I need to do. This is what I need to take back to the classroom. These are the certifications I need to. Who is feeling that way? Because even I have noted a few things like, I need to go and trademark. I need to go and write some things. I need to go and write some ideas. And technology is not waiting for us to catch up. Technology is not waiting for you to go and learn. There are updates rolling out every single day that you don't know about. So we need to skill up faster. And our children also, they are catching up, right? So today we are asking a difficult but very necessary question. Are we changing fast enough? Are we getting the skills fast enough? Are we reading fast enough? Like, yes, this child is probably in primary five, but do they have the skills they need? Is the curriculum changing? Is the curriculum adapted to suit the questions they are asking? And we all know that education is an ecosystem. Like we've had the Dr. Moody talk to us about IP. We've had Miss Toby talk to us about the different types of learners we have. We've had Dr. Miss Praise also talk about how to be a global educator. And so this conversation we're about to have, we'll talk about what education should look like in practice, not in theory alone. And so please join me as we welcome our panelists. First, we'll be having Miss Oluwatobi Oyedele, the founder and lead creative of Rare Tutors Limited. You know the drill, please clap for her. And also we have Praise Chimi Onaga, yeah, the founder of Prouder Tutors. Please clap for her. And we have Dr. Oluwatobi Obamodi. Yes, sir. Please clap for him. Please, let's not, you know the drill now. Yes. And also, we'll be having the person who brought this vision together, Mr. Biola Folorunsho. Please. Thank you so much, ladies and gentlemen. I think we have gender balance. So, yes, I'll be starting with Miss Oluwatobi. Um, Sometimes the problem isn't that the child can't learn, right? Sometimes we need to rethink how we are teaching the child. So, and that brings me to you. We keep saying every learner is different, but most classrooms still teach as if every child is the same. So, if you walked into a classroom with 40 very different learners, what are the first three things that you would change about how that teacher teaches? Can you answer us in less than 2 minutes?
Okay, firstly is the teaching approach, like we said earlier. The methodologies of teaching has to be concise and varied. So, like I said earlier, your entry behavior is so important. Now, when you test different child in four different ways, I tell you you've touched different learners in that classroom, your methodology and how you understand the learners. Like we said, we know we have different type of learners, and these learners they also have methodologies that they are comfortable in. Bringing these two things together, not using the one size fits all approach, will help them to learn equally. The type of assessment, what type of assess, how are you testing them based on what you have taught them? Are you just using the question based, or are you involving inquiry based? Are you using the grouping method or the tasking method? That's something also important. So with this, we can have a classroom that every learner would learn equally. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Please let's clap for her. So we have a child psychologist also joining us from Lagos. Can we hear from Mr. Joshua? Can we put Mr. Joshua through? Mr. Joshua Ode.
I'm in Lagos.
Can we hear him?
Can you hear me?
Yes, we can. Is Mr. Joshua there?
Yes, Mr. Joshua Ode is a child psychologist and
Oh, brilliant. Thank you so much. So, Mr. Joshua, very welcome. Please let's clap for Mr. Joshua. All right. So, we'll start with the person who is at the center of everything, who is the learner. So, a teacher as a child who is constantly distracted, withdrawn, disruptive, or seemingly uninterested in learning. So, Mr. Joshua, how can that teacher actually distinguish between a child who simply needs better discipline and a child who is actually struggling or maybe struggling emotionally, socially, or developmentally? Over to you, Mr. Joshua.
I thought I fostered to understand that so I still can distract and make an effort
Interference with for this behaviors for question. So it's necessary. Thank you so much, Miss Tim Topper. Thank you so much, Mr.
Okay. I have a question for Mr. Talk about class, the educator,
All right, I think I mentioned in the opening remark that what I believe is broken about how we prepare children for the future is we are not taking time to imagine the future we are actually preparing them for. And like I said, we could prepare a child to answer a question in 10 years, but by the time the child is ready to answer that question, the question is no longer relevant. Just like the shorthand thing you mentioned while you were speaking there. I mean, back in the days, they had secretaries. So when they are in a meeting, they are quickly taking notes of everything. But now we have note takers, right? Nobody is doing all that taking there. So events have already overtaken that. So I believe that we need to sit down and begin to ask ourselves, the rate at which the world is changing is very fast. Before now, people say, oh, every 6 years we need to get trained. But now every 3 months, trust me, even 1 month sometimes, just discover that you're outdated again. You felt you were up to date now. And then in the next 2 months, I mean, how many of you came here today and then they were mentioning some tools when Praise was mentioning some tools and you're like, which one is this one again? Because as far as we are concerned, maybe it is Zoom and Google Meet that we are supposed to use there. But that's the thing. So I believe and I hope that Rebooted will achieve that place where we all come together on a table. I will begin to say, what will this world look like in the next 10, 15 years? And then begin to ask ourselves, how can we prepare learners today to be able to solve the problems that will evolve in the next 10 to 15 years? Thank you.
thank you very much for that. Explain about teaching internationally.
Okay, thank you. So what I would say is the first thing the person should do is do not apply. I mean, I understand that there is a urge to send out your applications every year because you already know there are opportunities for that. But I would say do not apply yet. Earlier, I mentioned that the first thing you should do is to study the market, study what is happening. So that's the first thing I'll advise you to do. Pause, understand the market very, very well because there are lots of things to learn, a whole lot. Study it very well, and then after some time, you can send out your application. But before sending out your application, I will also advise that you should, learn these different tools. There was one that she mentioned um, when she was addressing us earlier. She mentioned one. I mean, I've not heard about that one too. So you should study all these different tools, these teaching tools. What's it called? Resources, different materials that you can use. Study them very well because you need to get prepared for the opportunity. We hear things like opportunity means people prepared, right? So you need to be prepared for that opportunity. So first of all, study the market, learn these teaching tools, and then you can start your application. Another thing again I would also advise is be consistent because at some point you might also get rejections. I think I've gotten more than 20 something rejections since 2023 if I'm not mistaken, but I've been very, very consistent. So you would definitely get rejection for some people, but then you just be very consistent. And another thing again she mentioned earlier was that you need to build your brand, your personal brand rather. So I think that's what you can also work on as well. So while you're studying the market, you're understanding these things, you're also building your brand, and naturally you see people gravitating, you see clients or you see these students, coming to you. It's just natural. And please, one more. I'm so sorry. I think Mr. Wale mentioned, he talked about Chinese platforms, right? So he said on our Nigerian TikTok, you see different displays of whatever there. But I would also say that one other platform that I know that you can also build your brand is on a platform called Red Notes. It's called Shangshu. I don't know if I'm pronouncing that well. So while you are studying all these areas, you are learning all these things, you can also build your brand on Shangshu, Red Notes. But if I mispronounce, please forgive me. That's not my language.
Okay, Miss Timtopa. She's speaking. We can't hear her, please. Miss Timtopa, you can speak. Yes, yes, we can hear you.
Okay, okay. Intellectual property.
Thanks for the question. I think if I'm going to go to the intellectual property that sits most with educators, I think it's copyright. There's a lot of work that educators engage with. I think um, most of the questions that we've received in the field of education have really centered around copyright use. What are the boundaries on what are yours as an educator, and what are the boundaries, like in terms of what we use from other people? And of course, now with AI, I think I referenced that earlier. There's also that sense of how do you still ensure that students are learning effectively, and not just relying on AI to churn out, ideas, but are actually developing content that can be protected. And maybe just to say for educators that on the copyright frame, it's really important that we are conscious that it's not just the idea that's protected, it's actually the expression of that idea. And so when you have a concept, or like if you and a student, and I'm thinking not just for early learners now, a lot of these questions come up at the tertiary level, but when educator and a student sit together and they discuss an idea or discuss a concept, um, and someone goes back to write it, sometimes there's arguments as to who owns what was written because they had both discussed it. And the reality is that the law protects the person who has expressed the idea, not just who has talked about it or who's thinking about it. It's really who has expressed it. And so if you're going to develop materials, develop content, um, do it, put it in a fixed form, and then use that as a basis for educating, as against this idea that, oh no, I taught you these things. So if you are writing things, they belong to me. No, at the end of the day, the onus is on the educator to protect their own copyright, to be able to develop the content, put it in a fixed form, whether you're recording it, you're writing it, but put it in a fixed form. And then you can have the moral rights and the economic rights that accrue to what you have. And so even as students and other people are engaging with it, you can still lay claim to the copyright in that work.
Thank you so,
Okay,
so
thank
much. So we're moving to Mr. Joshua. Mr. Joshua, so what are the early warning signs that a children is no longer coping well? And what can teachers and parents do before the situation actually becomes more serious?
Okay.
We can't hear him loudly.
Okay. Can you
Yeah, it's better. Thank you.
all right? So the early signs is feel that so what you look at the major gap in the child's academic function. It's an early learning for the most there's a child is no longer interested in learning. That's
We can't hear him again.
and
Okay, we can hear you now.
that
You
you
can continue,
think
sir.
that
Yes, we can.
it's appropriate for a particular age. Something destructive behaviors. Uh,
Thank you so much. Please let's clap for him. That was a very detailed diagnosis, so to say. Because sometimes it's not that the child cannot learn, it's probably how we are teaching them, or probably some situations or environmental factors that are at play. And so that will bring me to Miss Toby. Um, AI can personal AI can personalize learning, but it can also make teachers lazy. Do you agree? Do you agree? Okay. So my actual question now is, what should a Nigerian teacher never, emphasis on the never outsource to AI? And what are the three things every teacher should already be using AI for? Yeah.
Thank you for that question. So, firstly, I'm going to paint a scenario. I'm a teacher here, and the first quality as a teacher is I should have um a likable attribute for children. While I was coming yesterday, I decided to use the road while coming. Then I'm gonna take a flight while going back, something like that. So, in the bus, I myself, and we have all three other adults, and I have about 8 children in there. And something said to me, why are they always following me around? But I was just like, this journey is going to take long because I was already thinking about them. And that's my teacher's instinct. They would want to eat. Some of them would fall. I already preempted it that some of them would feel nauseous and all that. That feeling was there. And then there was a time I was saying hi to one on the journey, and she was like, Mommy, I want to go and sit with her. That one sat with me. Now, I'm trying to put the human nature versus the AI. That's where my story is going to. So the first one came, sat beside me. Suddenly, about 2 hours later, I have like 4 or 5 children with me. Then one of their parents, the mother, was calling from the back. Saw tears in her eyes. She was already, the mother herself was vomiting. The other baby, maybe 4 year old, 3 years old, is also vomiting. And she reached out to me. There are other adults. Now, you as a teacher, who do I perceive you to be? Are you human enough to know that as a teacher, I have these responsibilities that I can't outsource to AI? First one is your feeling, your human connection to those children, especially because you are giving your services to them. I carried that boy from, I think, Ondo till they got to Lokoja. I was happy doing it. I enjoyed it, but AI can't do that. So you should never outsource your feeling, your human interaction, your empathy to AI. That's something you shouldn't do because it's not possible. Now, the second thing, what should teachers be using AI for? Your lesson planning. Now, even if you're in Nigeria, you've not gone for trainings and all that, prompt it well. In fact, let me just give a prompt. Hi, Chat GPT. My name is Oluwatobi Dele. I'm a teacher in Nigeria, Lagos, Nigeria, to be precise. The school where I work is in the level of Grange, Corona, blah, 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 blah. I am planning a 40 minutes lesson for a year 3 pupil, an age appropriate lesson. Do XYZ. This is the topic. This is the subject. Now, give me the right prompt for AI to give me a proper lesson plan. You are asking it for prompt. You are not saying it should do it yet. It's going to give you the right prompts for you to send back to it. So when you finish that, it gives you the prompt. Copy that prompt, open a new chat, paste it, and see wonders. That's what AI should be doing for you right now. AI should also be helping you for resources, your classroom resources. This if you're in basic class, if you're a basic class teacher, if you want to talk about plants, print cutouts, A whole lot of it. Design it the way you want it, the way you think each of your learners will connect to it. Now, the third one is use AI to organize yourself. As a teacher, you have your time where you are tired and all that. But if you have a good organizer, from this time to this time, this is what I want to do. Okay, you give me the reports. Okay, I need reports. Before you think a lot, you already have something that will preempt your thinking. So it will help you be efficient and you will deliver successfully. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Um, and one tip, did you know that you can actually talk to AI? All these things she just said, you can just say it to AI instead of typing it. So yeah. Over to you, Mr. Msokwe.
Then, if Rebooted succeeds,
All right. If Rebooted succeeds in the next 5 years, the vision is very clear and very simple. Like Coach Wale mentioned about the vision he has that he wants to see teachers live well. Now, if Rebooted succeeds very well, one of the first things that will happen is that we're going to have a new brand of educators in Nigeria who would, number one, understand their value, understand their worth, understand the value of the resources and the things they create. And that's why we are talking about IP, intellectual property, in all these that we are talking about. We are going to be looking at schools that would go beyond just thinking about preparing children to pass the next exam, but begin to prepare children for the future that we are already imagining, even though we are not there yet. We are going to come to the place of where we are going to build learners who don't just have the right answers, but have learned to ask the right questions. I hope you know that asking the right question is a bigger skill now than having the right answers. Because AI is there to give you all the answers, right? But then asking AI the right questions is now another skill that we will call prompt engineering primarily. So we're going to build learners who would have been trained to ask the right questions, because in the place of asking the right questions, that's the place of discovering problems and providing solutions to problems. And very much, finally, I think we are also in the next 5 years, Rebooted will help to create an awareness of the importance of personal development for educators. I think a lot of times educators let go of themselves in that sense. The enthusiasm for personal development, like you see in other fields, my doctor friend is here, there. The passion to just want to keep updating yourself. There are a lot of educators. Yes, educators complain a lot that, it's not as rewarding as you should be. But I think one of the things we are going to see is that paradigm shift, that mindset shift for educators also. We are going to see a place where educators can actually start deciding to invest 150,000 in books and read. If I want to tell you how much I've invested in books in the last 6 months, it's a lot, trust me. It's a lot. And I'm just buying those books, I'm reading them. There's one I'm still working on now. I'm just about to get done with it. Until we get to that place where educators understand that I'm not just doing this, I'm personally developing myself. And that is part of building your brand. Because ultimately, you have something to tell people there. You need to personally develop yourself. For example, we planned this conference to have as much educators as possible. And that is why, as much as my team were like, okay, let's put the money to them, let's still make it free. Let's bankroll it there. But you still ask a lot of educators, they will tell you that it's transport fare. And then they want to do big things like Toby is doing. They want to do big things like Praise is doing. For Praise, you mentioned that you watched 220 YouTube videos. The truth is, how many educators can sit down and watch 120 videos to get something? That is the place of the personal investment we are talking about. So that is what we just see, that Rebooted succeeding in the next few years is having more educators come to that space where you prioritize your personal development and understand that it is, like Coach Wale said, growth is the solution to poverty. Thank you.
Wow. That is really especially appreciate Mrs. Praise. Thank you for thank you very much.
Okay.
Is this
Miss Semitope, so we just want to take the group photograph here. So I think you guys can take your pictures too over there. A group selfie, perhaps. Okay, Miss Temitope, over to you.
very much? Let us move to the average. Please, I think this is okay. And it has really been a beautiful event. But I think we need to so my understanding and the challenge and this cannot be. So the first conference, it's excited to know about it. We can just give a clap. And in our classes. So, staying relevant as an educator September to 26th of September. You want to grow, you want to go like this. So from today to 29th, I want to just the conference has challenged you to think differently about education.
Opportunity to build on those conversations and turn them into practical knowledge and action. So body start to continue the rebooted journey. Thank you very much. Abuja, please, we're still waiting for the QR code on the screen. Let's have the QR code on the screen. People can scan, you can register, and you can pay directly. Thank you very much. You have a discount of 50%. Regular price is 60,000 naira, but if you want to, you should actually, it's not even if you want to, you should be a part of this, and it's just for 30,000 naira till the 29th of August. Thank you very much. Over to you, Ms. Temi in Abuja.
Thank you so much. So this is the beginning. I'm not going to say this is the end. I think there is that. Is it a meme or something, right? On social media, there is a song that says, "Oh, this is the end." Maybe when somebody wants to fall down or something. I can't remember how that works. So this is not the end. This is the beginning. I want to appreciate everyone for being here today. It shows me that you actually you are particular about your personal development. But please, like I said at the beginning, this shouldn't end with "it was a great conference." I want you to actually, before you leave here today, write down 3 things you're going to do differently. Write down 3 things you will do differently. From last year, we had some participants from last year. I know a lady from last year that joined, and by the time she finished, the very next week, she sent me a video. The video was looking somehow because the phone was, she was like, "You said we could just go to, I'm going to go ahead and do it there." So it wasn't perfect. The problem of some of you is that you want everything to be perfect. You want to be able to set a ring light with an iPhone 17. Picture quality. Trust me, it does not have to be perfect. Take steps. Take actions. Even God favors those who are courageous enough to take steps. List out 3 things you begin to do differently. Ask yourself, how will I begin to leverage on the information I've gotten today? And like it has been said, attach yourself. Don't let the learning end here. Be part of communities. As a teacher, we need to keep upgrading ourselves. The TRCN was mentioning the last time that if you have to travel out of Nigeria now and you want to practice, you need to get, what do you call it now? I can't remember the very name. There's a document you need to get that allows you to practice. However, for them to give you that document, you must first be TRCN certified. Number two, you must now have a valid license. I hope you all know that, right? And the license is renewable every 3 years. And for you to renew it every 3 years, you must have attended trainings and workshops, because in this our profession, it is too important. You cannot just leave it to what I learned in 1978 in the days of Ojuku. No, it cannot work. So I want to appreciate you once again for taking your time, for using your transport fare to come. Some people did not come because of transport fare. But if you are going to take this thing serious, it will take a lot from you, trust me. But it will also pay you in the long run. You can ask Praise. Praise is paying, right? It's paying. That's the truth. Anybody that will be sincere with you will tell you it's paying, but at the same time, they will also be sincere with you to tell you that it first had to cost them something precious. But in the long run, it pays. Trust me, it pays, it pays, it pays. Once again, thank you. This is Rebooted 2.0. And yes, like she said, we're going to be having the learning series. Rebooted learning series will start on all the Saturdays in September precisely. You will get a mail in your email box to give you more details. Some of these tools, I know you've heard it, but you need to understand it very well. So we want to just get more practical. We don't have all the time here. So we want to get more practical to take you step by step on how to build some of these tools and also get some of these stories that will motivate you. So it's going to be till the first Rebooted series and also Rebooted 3.0. Who knows? Rebooted 1.0 was in one location, Lagos. Rebooted 2.0 is in two locations, Abuja and Lagos. Who knows? Rebooted 3.0 might just be in what? 3 locations. Once again, my name is Biola Folorenshaw, founder, Lenify Nigeria, and thank you for coming.
Thank you. Please, let's clap for him. He is the visionary behind this Rebooted Ed conference. So thank you very much, sir. Thank you too for coming. Thank you very much, sir. So, ladies and gentlemen, like he said, we have come to the beginning, but a few things to note. Thank you for coming. Please thank the person beside you. Tell them thank you for coming. I mean, it's already 3 p.m. I didn't even know time had gone that fast. So yes, please, like I said before, if you want to get a certificate for attending this conference, please, the registration desk is by my right hand side at the back. Just go there. You'll be notified how much you have to pay. Just a token to get your certificate. We also have books at the foyer there. Please, we've read it. We've read it all. I don't need to repeat everything again. You learn by books, videos. So please invest in your personal development by getting some of those books. And lastly, if you know someone that should have been here today who wasn't here, maybe because of transport, because they didn't even know, the link will be sent alongside other info to your email. The learning series is also there. Please share with them. Like, share with people, please. The link will be sent. The learning series as well. Please make sure you attend. Thank you very much. And please, we have our backdrop there. Do well to take pictures, post on LinkedIn, on Instagram, post everywhere that you were at Reboot Ed. Post everywhere that you are a Reboot Ed. Please use the hashtag Reboot Ed, tag Learnify. Let people know that you are not just the educator who is waiting for the government to change the curriculum before you change your curriculum. Let them know that you are investing in your own development and also the development of your learners. And so we'll be having the closing prayer now, and after that, the group photograph once again. Yes, we'll be having the closing prayer. Thank you, schools. Closing prayer, so yes.
All right. Shall we rise? In Jesus' name. Father, we thank you for this beautiful time. We thank you for this event. We thank you for Rebooted. We ask that everything, Lord, you've helped us learn this time. He will help us internalize and magnify in the name of Jesus. We pray for the organizers of this program. We pray for more impacts, more wisdom, knowledge, and understanding. We pray for sponsors. We pray that this program will go far and near. And the Lord, you will equip them with the skills to develop educators, to become global solution providers in the name of Jesus. Thank you, everlasting Father, for this beautiful time. And we pray that everyone living here today will get to their destination safe and sound in the name of Jesus. In Jesus' name we pray.
I just randomly chose him. Thank you so much. Please, our speakers, can we have you? Miss Folorunshaw, we also want to take pictures with you with a group picture, please.
Mm-hmm.